Get nasty on a Thursday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN 202. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers traveling. I don't know if he's going to be with us tomorrow for a little bit, but hopefully we'll check in with Jamie at some point as the Blues take on the Avalanche. Not tonight, but they'll be in Denver tomorrow. Pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 7 o'clock. Puck drops at 8 o'clock. Doug Armstrong, as we know, spoke to the media about Brandon Saad. One of the things, Kerry, Marsh, that we didn't discuss yesterday when we brought up the news about Brandon Saad being placed on unconditional waivers was Armstrong being asked again about any players that are coming up following the Saad ordeal. Spent a little time talking about whether or not we'll see any young guy come up, and that doesn't seem to be the case. But there's also another element to this. But first, I want to play this audio from Army. Again, when he was asked about any young players that could be replacing Saad or anybody else on the NHL roster, here's what Army had to say.
Not right now. As I said, they have a pretty good thing going down there right now. Maybe, we're in Iowa this weekend. We can get somebody to Utah if we need to. But as I said, I want to say this the correct way. Like, if I want to see Texier play the less options that the coach has, the more likely he's going to play.
That makes a lot of sense. We've seen this done before. We saw this with Mo. Mm-hmm. We saw this with Mo and Matheny. There was other times as well, but the most significant time that we saw this was when Mo, clearly wanting to see more of Oscar Tavares playing in the outfield over Alan Craig, who had been struggling because of the injury from previous years. Alan Craig, really good Cardinal, suffered the injury with the foot injury and wasn't the same player. But Mike Matheny, as with many managers and coaches, they typically, they side with the veterans. They know what the veterans bring to the table. Known commodity. Even if a veteran's struggling, there seems to be hey, I'd rather go with the known, the guy that struggled and has come in and out of slumps, as opposed to the unknown, where there's got to be maybe some more nurturing. But what Mo did, wasn't happy with the clubhouse, wasn't happy with the amount of playing time or lack thereof that Oscar Tavares was receiving. He shipped Alan Craig and Joe Kelly to Boston for John Kelly. John Kelly. Hey.
Nah, he could probably do it.
John could probably do it.
I don't know if he would want to.
For John Lackey. I don't know if JK could get on the mound.
But I'm sure he can get out there and get it done.
Yeah. John Lackey's who I meant. That was the most infamous time I think that we remember here in St. Louis of something like this happening. But I think it probably goes on more than what we know. And Army was being honest there. If he wants to see Texier, well, you put Saad on unconditional waivers. You don't call anybody up. I don't think this means there's a major disconnect, by the way, between Army and Jim Montgomery. They may have a difference of opinion on a player like Texier, but healthy confrontation among a president/GM and a head coach, I think is a good thing. What's your read on it?
I agree. I think, both men are strong-willed. There's no way you get to the level that you're at without being strong-willed, strong-minded, and having a philosophy or a thought pattern on how to do things. And if Army is saying, well, I want to see this guy play, and Monty is saying, well, he ain't going to help us, or I don't think he's better than what we have in front of him, and the person that makes the decision said, yeah, well, let's see. Mm-hmm. And so I guess that's how this all played out. But I don't think it's an unhealthy situation. Whenever you have two people that are strong mind, strong willed, and they both have differing opinions, it can lead to some good things. At the end of the day, you're going to have to do what your boss technically says because he's the one that makes the decisions. And by doing so, okay, well, let me help you out with what I really want to be done. Mm-hmm. Brandon Saad, thank you for your services. You're no longer going to be here, and I need to see what this person can do in Texier, so I'm going to open up a spot for him. Now, let's see if Texier plays and how well he plays, and maybe Monty is like, I told you, I was right. And maybe Army is like, no, I told you. I was right. This is what we needed. So it's all about how well the player plays now. But I think there was enough seen from Saad that there was time for, in Army's mind, we need to move on and give some other guys an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think this actually marshes a natural progression, too, with Army. If he wants to see more of Texier, he's not going to bring up Dvorsky. You know, or anybody, or any young player for that matter. If you already have somebody that is on the roster that has been on the NHL roster, somebody that you had acquired at some point, it doesn't make sense if you're Army. If you don't feel like you've had enough time to observe and evaluate a player, even from your suite, you might as well go ahead and ensure that player is going to get some minutes before you go the route that I think a lot of fans want, which is that, hey, let's see what Dvorsky has. All right, if it's not going to be a playoff team, let's see what a young player has.
Yeah, he's played 24 games this year, 3 goals, 5 assists. He's a -2. But we've seen Doug Armstrong bring in like reclamation projects. Now, I don't necessarily think that those have worked out, but I think this is why you do it, right? You want to see what these guys can offer to your team. And right now, he thinks that he hasn't been shown enough from Alex Texier, whether that's, play on the ice or just not getting the opportunity. So, yeah, he wants to see more of it. And I understand. How do you feel, though, about putting him on the top line? We've seen that happen before.
Right. Yeah, well, we're seeing it now.
Yeah.
So the morning skate, the practice lines were released by JR at about 11:30. Texier, as you just indicated, Marsh, Texier, Thomas, and Buchnevich are the top line. Holloway, Shen, Kyrou, Neighbors, Foxa, Bolduc, and I think we'll see a lot more ice time for Bolduc, too, with this move. Torchenko, Joseph, Walker, and the extra was Sonny, who's had a rough year. I don't mind it. You want to get a good look at a player. I don't. It's interesting that Thomas. I don't think has lived up to expectations this year. Now he's also dealing with the injury, so maybe still there's some frustration there over the injury. Buchnevich is at a down year. Texier, Thomas, Buchnevich. It's interesting that Texier now is just he's going right with the two guys.
No, it's not interesting.
Are struggling.
It's not. You wanna see him? Put him on the line with your guys.
Put him on the top line.
Yeah. Let's see. And
fix this.
Monty, it might be one of those situations like, okay, you want him to play? I'll put him out there with the best guys that we got, and let's see if he's able to make an impact. And again, somebody's right in this situation, somebody's wrong. Or maybe it's a wash. Maybe they both were wrong and right at the same time. We'll see. We'll see how well Texier plays and if he does make an impact tonight. But I do think Monty is saying, hey, all right, well, here's your shot. You want him to play? Okay.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Are you not entertained?
We got a text from the 314. That's the problem with Army and Mo. They take too fast lane long to figure out what a player is. It's like they don't watch them in the minors or read their scouting reports.
I do think there's a bit. I do think there's a bit of an elongated process with Mo. Army, I think the process is a little slower because he hands out those long-term contracts. I think he kind of gets married to a player, and then it's like, all right, hey, he got him for the next 5 years now or 4 years. I think that's what goes on with Army. Now, maybe it's semantics for saying the same thing. But yeah, there tends to be a bit of a we just gotta find out what a player is. Why haven't you figured this out yet? Why haven't you've had enough time? This player has essentially told you who he is. Does that fit the Cardinals? Does that fit the Blues or not? Tyler O'Neill is a perfect example of this. Tyler O'Neill is who he is. He had a pretty good year with Boston. Was anybody shocked that Tyler O'Neill had hit a fair amount of home runs for the Red Sox this year? No. The question was always, could he be healthy?
There you go.
And you just don't know. At some point, and we're going to have this conversation too coming up about Lars Nootbaar, but at some point, if you're an organization, even if you've seen the flashes of potential, you have to say, I know who you are. You're going to be banged up. You're not going to be available for us. And I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to watch you hit, 20-something odd home runs for Boston. But I'm going to know that we have to move forward as an organization. So to the Texans' point, I do think there's a bit of a prolonged, I'll just keep using that word, prolonged thought process or decision making.
You just got to be patient.
Got to be patient. Bottom line. Hey, if you want to be a part of the show, you always can. Text line, Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Doesn't matter what we're talking about throughout the course of the day. Feel free to text us. Love having you a part of it. If you want to leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop, you can do that as well. If you want your voice heard, you got an opinion that's a little bit more elongated, fantastic. You can always send us that mic drop via the 101 app, the Dobstar and Auto Centers 101 app, completely free to use. So we appreciate you being a part of the show today. Got a lot of various local and national topics. Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Again, no Jamie Rivers for right now. 212, your time check is brought to you by Collection Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. I was listening to, CD, have you ever listened to John Middlecoff's podcast? He's a former scout with the Eagles. Now he does a kind of a daily podcast.
Yeah, I may have heard.
It's under the Colin Cowherd umbrella.
Probably.
He got a question about the NFC and some of the top-tier quarterbacks we have seen in the NFC. But one thing we haven't out of that conference that we have seen in the AFC, and I'm going to throw this question at you that I heard Middlecoff talk about because I think it's an interesting one. Why no dynasties in the NFC since the early 2000s? We've already seen 3 in the AFC, one going on right now with the Chiefs. That's next on 101 ESPN. was listening to the John Middlecoff podcast the other day, and one of the mailbag segments that he did, somebody asked him about the NFC and why we haven't seen dynasties like we have in the AFC in that conference. And the reason why the question was asked is not only are we witnessing the third dynasty now in the AFC, this time with Mahomes and the Chiefs since early 2000. You had the 2 by Tom Brady.
Yeah, you don't want to count the Steelers. They had a dynasty. They went to 3 Super Bowls.
See, okay, so let's clarify then.
I'm just asking. They won 2.
To me, three in 5 years, that's a dynasty.
It was 05, 08, and 2010.
You have to win 3, though.
Six
Win
seasons.
win 3.
I thought you meant 3. You had to go to 3.
No,
you got to
no.
be clear.
I thought that was
You said
clear.
3 in 5 years. You didn't say win 3 in 5 years.
I just assumed.
Hey, well, I didn't assume that.
Yeah, you got to win. Yeah,
Okay.
To be a dynasty.
You know, are we changing the definition of a dynasty?
Just asking.
March 3 and 5, right?
It's yes.
3 win.
Thank you.
Win
wins.
3.
Oh.
I will be generous, and depending on the team, if I like them, I'll stretch it to 6. 3 and 6.
Yeah, 3 wins and 6 or 3
Wins.
3
okay,
wins
hey, you got
in
to be
5
clear.
and or 6 years.
We're on radio. You got to be clear when you're speaking, right, Anthony?
This guy's trying to change the rules to benefit his team.
Hey, 3 times in 6 years.
You know what? Hey,
That's the Steelers.
You can't fault him for trying. All right, so Tom Brady and the Patriots, 2 dynasties in New England. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, middle of their dynasty. Here's the NFC quarterbacks, some of the NFC quarterbacks in the 2000s in the NFC. Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
1 Super Bowl.
1.
1 appearance. 1 for 1. Drew Brees. 1 for 1. Mm-hmm. Eli Manning. He had the 2. 07 and 11. Matthew Stafford. Got out of Detroit. Won a Super Bowl with L.A., but, 1 for 1. Russell Wilson. 1 for 2. Matt Ryan, 0 for 1. So those are the NFC. No dynasties. Now, Aaron Rodgers is probably the closest. None of those quarterbacks are on the same level as Tom Brady and what Patrick Mahomes is developing into. So I think that's the start. But why else do you think that we haven't seen a dynasty in the NFC, let alone the 3 that we have and currently are seeing the AFC?
Well, according to your rules, a dynasty would have to be 3 wins, and Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady have taken care of the winning part. So so if we're talking about a team that makes it consistently to the...
We are not, sir.
Okay, well, then we're not talking about a dynasty.
Exactly. I mean, 3 dynasties in one conference.
Yeah,
the Patriots took a break and then restarted a dynasty.
That's because of those 2 specific quarterbacks. They have been outstanding, and their teams have been outstanding. And I said this yesterday, and or maybe 2 days ago. Part of the reason why they have such good teams, they are not the highest paid player in the league, even though they deserved it. Tom Brady was not. Patrick Mahomes is not. He has taken a contract. Now, granted, it's 10 years, $500 million, but it's not the highest paid, or $450 million, whatever it was when he signed it a few years back. Mm-hmm. Dak Prescott makes $60 million a year. He's $15 million less than what Dak Prescott is making, which allows you, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it allows you to spread it to other places. Chris Jones, for example, you can keep a guy like that on your roster because your quarterback isn't making the most. So if I were a young quarterback and I wanted to have a dynasty-like run, I would start there. I need to make sure that I'm not the highest paid player in the world, because it puts pressure on our front office to try to find players that can that can match the play that they need to play, so that we can have a team that is able to make runs. Russell Wilson is a prime example as well. That team was on track to be a dynasty in the NFC. They went to 2 Super Bowls. They had a team, but then Russell Wilson got paid.
Yeah.
And so you're on a rookie contract, you go get paid, and once the quarterback is paid, that roster is going to shift drastically over the next 3 to 5 years. Really the next 2 to 3 years. Because you're not able to keep those players that helped you win championships, that helped you win the NFC and make it to a Super Bowl. Those players are no longer on your roster because they also want to be paid, and they're not going to take pennies because you took a lot of money.
Sure.
I think building on to what you said too, the Super Bowl hangover is real, right? Like once you lose, like it's really hard to get back unless you have a well-oiled machine. Like the 49ers, I think right now are a good example of that. Like they'll lose, and then maybe they won't make it the following year, but then all of a sudden, like, what do you know? They're back in it again. Like I could totally see the 49ers being back in the Super Bowl next year or something. You know what I'm saying? But I really do think it comes down to the coaching change. You talk about the roster change. I think when you get to a Super Bowl and you lose, you're like, oh, man, like I feel like this would have been our shot to win.
Right.
And maybe we keep this same group together to keep this dynasty going. But we're good enough to get to the Super Bowl. Teams are going to be calling, right? Players are free agents. Their teams are going to be calling. And then all of a sudden, if you don't have the right system in place to keep guys there, then people end up leaving and you end up not having a dynasty. But I think it starts with the Super Bowl loss and the hangover.
I think both are interesting. Carey, I think it's a really good point that you made about the Tom Brady not maxing out his contract. Now he probably made. I mean, look, he made a bunch of money, and the Patriots.
His wife was a billionaire.
Yeah, like he was fine, but I think that does factor in. I also think the Chiefs have transitioned to this, and I think the Patriots were always this way because of Belichick. Both Mahomes and Brady, now not the entire time for Mahomes, but for both dynasties for Brady, they had defenses. They had top 10 defenses. Maybe not for the entire year. Like the Chiefs when they beat the 49ers the first time. I remember talking about how bad the Chiefs defense was halfway through that year. But eventually things clicked under Spags and they got better. Now, the Chiefs defense is better as a whole, Marsh, over the Chiefs offense.
What?
Yeah. There's a commitment to defense, whether it's from a draft standpoint, free agency standpoint. We talked about Joe Burrow the other day. And Chris Canty, and some of the comments Chris Canty made about Joe Burrow not being elite because they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs because they spent all the money on offense, left the defense high and dry,
right.
And lo and behold, go figure, the defense was the thing that largely kept the Bengals out of the playoffs this year. I think there's a commitment. You have the franchise quarterback, but I think there's a huge commitment to the defense as well. Yeah. If I look at some of these NFC players, Russell Wilson, back-to-back Super Bowl trips. Why? Rookie contract, incredible defense.
Those guys were playing their butt off.
Drew Brees, even the year that the Saints went to the Super Bowl, highly opportunistic.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't have the rankings in front of me when they went in 2009. But I highly doubt that defense, outside of turnovers and maybe sacks, ranked in the top 10 in much. But they were highly opportunistic, and the Saints did it once. The Packers, when they went, Aaron Rodgers caught fire. Now, I think he had better defenses than a lot of these other quarterbacks. Matt Ryan never had a top 15 defense, let alone a top 10 defense. When they went, he played at an MVP level when they went to the Super Bowl. Eli won 2, and that defensive line was disgusting. So I think there's also an element here of what you always say, it's a team game. But if you don't have the pass rush, you don't have the defense, how are you going to win consistently in the postseason like the Chiefs have, like the Patriots used to?
You have to have the total package. But again, you can't have all of that if your quarterback is being paid obscene amounts of money. It's hard to spread the rest of that pot around to the other guys on that team. And so now, what do you have to do? You have to hit on your draft picks. You have to go out in free agency and try to get players that are not as highly valued in the open market that you can add to your roster, but maybe they aren't the caliber of the players that you had to let leave because those players are going to demand more money. So it's all about managing that money, but it starts with the quarterback position. That's the highest paid position on the team. If that quarterback is going to max out what he can get, you're going to be struggling trying to figure out what else everyone else can do. And I think that Like, if you were to pinpoint one specific thing as to why you have those two teams being the three dynasties over the last 20 years, you can pinpoint that as being the main reason. You're able to spread the rest of that money out to the rest of the roster, and then you hit on your draft picks and you have good coaching. Bill Belichick and Andy Reid are two top coaches, Hall of Fame coaches. Though that is the reason why those teams are able to win championships and be dynasties.
Yeah. Well, why don't you think the Steelers won the three?
Oh, they didn't win against the Aaron Rodgers and that third one.
Right.
Yeah. I wasn't there.
It's tough when you can go ahead, say it.
What?
It's tough when your quarterback was selfish.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. They had pretty much everybody there.
You didn't have
I don't even know if he signed the contract yet at that point.
Kerey.
So, wouldn't say that, you know?
You don't have to say it. You said it with everything else that you said about Brady and Mahomes.
Nah.
I'll say it for you.
So that means every other quarterback in the world in the history of football is selfish. If that's your point.
Right. Okay. But I wanted to basically focus on Big Ben since that was your QB.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah. All righty. I read an athletic article today that had a bunch of different MLB notes, and one of these sections was dedicated to a Cardinal great that will be an excellent manager at some point. Albert Pujols. Not all great players become great managers. In fact, we've seen the exact opposite in some cases. I want to ask you, CD, we'll have the conversation about Pujols, but when you played for former players that were coaches, what made some of those guys great? What made some of those guys really struggle? And we'll tie it all into Pujols. That's next on 101 ESPN.
It's Albert all the way.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a SportsCenter update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tonight you can listen to some NBA action. The Grizzlies taking on the Rockets. Pregame starts at 8. Tip-off is at 8:30. Tomorrow we'll have your Blues taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. If you've missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Albert Pujols. Whoa, that was not great. That didn't sound great, Anthony. Albert Pujols is receiving praise for managerial skills. We're going to discuss that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the SportsCenter update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
As Marsh just told you there in the SportsCenter update.
Oh, kind of.
No, you did.
All right, I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, that happens. I'm excited. Marsh might be playing hurt today, so he's
little banged up.
He's giving it his all today. Albert Pujols.
Albert Pujols.
The Athletic, Ken Rosenthal, and Will Salmon.
Salmon?
SAMMON.
Yes.
Salmon?
Salmon.
Like
Salmon.
Salmon.
Not salmon, salmon.
No, but not like salmon, SALMON.
No, correct.
But salmon.
Yeah. So Ken Rosenthal and his buddy Will talked about Albert Pujols. There's a section about why Pujols is going to be a great players manager. Albert Pujols becomes a manager, a major league manager, seemingly will not have the problem that we've seen with other great athletes that eventually become managers or coaches, such as Ted Williams, Frank Robinson, Ryan Sandberg, Paul Molitor. There's been guys that have had issues. Jamie has talked about it with Wayne Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky was, we're talking about the great one, but when it came to him being a coach, he struggled because it's difficult for Hall of Famers to kind of accept or coach the shortcomings of all players.
Correct.
As Jamie once put it, Wayne Gretzky was asking why a certain player didn't see something and, on the ice, and Jamie goes, because he's not you. Not everybody had that talent, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be a problem with Albert Pujols, at least according to some. He understands how hard the game is, said catcher Martin Maldonado, who appeared in Pujols's winter ball team in the Dominican Winter League. He says he knows that everyone is not like him. He's going to be a great players manager, says Tommy Pham, who also spent some time with Pujols with this Dominican Winter Ball League. He understands the grind players go through. When I joined the team, we were in a bad stretch of losses, said Tommy Pham. We couldn't catch a break. He kept telling us the process is right. You guys are playing the game the right way. Just let us get into that playoff round robin because we have the best team. Sure enough, he was right. And there's other players that have gone on to say in the same article about how Pujols has this calming presence about him. He understands the ups and downs of a player. He keeps everything positive and he keeps everything in perspective. I'll read one more quote, then I got a question for Carey on this. Obviously, he's going to keep learning more if he chooses to do this again next year, as in being a manager, or if he has a role with a big league staff. And this is from another player, Rojas. But I don't know that he'll ever take a coaching role before a manager's job. It would be great for him, just for him to see up close what the day-to-day is like, who does what, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that as a player he didn't see, even though he was probably close to his managers just because of who he was. But there are things the Yankees do as a staff that Aaron Judge doesn't know. When it comes to, and I want to circle back at some point, but Carey, you have played, whether as a position coach, a head coach, a coordinator, you have played for various different former players. Mm-hmm. Was there a trait that those guys had that made them really good coaches or really good teachers of the game? Outside of course, like, hey, you know what it's like to be a pro player. You know what it's like to be a professional athlete. Like that's just understood. Yeah. Was there a trait that either made these guys, or lack of trait, that didn't make these guys good coaches?
I think when you are a former player and you've been through what players are currently going through, you have an understanding of, one, how hard it is. Like, it's not easy to be a professional athlete. There is a lot of work, a lot of, sacrifice, and a lot of having the confidence to go out and do it every single day. That's the most important thing. I think that coaches that have been through that fire understand that, and they are more respectful of a current player that is dealing with those situations. And I think they understand the game. But it's not every – I think it depends on the person. You don't have to be a former player to be a good head coach or to be a good position coach. Does it help if that's the position you played and you can understand and you can, kind of understand how players are going through their day-to-day process? It definitely helps. But I think the best thing that makes a coach is someone that understands, like, just is there with you in that moment, and somebody that is honest. Like, if you're going to be a coach – you got to be honest with your players, and any player will tell you that. And I think that's probably the biggest difference from people that played the game to those that didn't. As players, we can handle anything. You can tell me anything. Just be honest. Don't lie to me. Don't tell me I'm going to play this amount of snaps or this amount of minutes on the ice or this, I'm going to come in this situation in the game, and then I don't do it. Because now we have a problem. And so I think the one thing that former players understand about current players is I can tell them anything. I just have to be honest, and they'll be able to process it. You might not like it, but you will accept it and appreciate the fact that coach was honest with you. And I think that's probably the largest difference from people that actually played to guys that are just, that haven't, because they don't understand that level of, just honesty and being upfront and being forthright with what you're saying and what you're doing.
For the guys that didn't play, was there a bit of a learning? Was there not a learning curve, but a trust that needed to be kind of earned?
It depends on who they are. I mean, Sean McVay didn't play in the NFL, but I think he's an offensive genius, and you understand when you're watching him call plays or when you're in the film session with him, you probably understand very quickly, he grasps this very well. He understands this very well. He didn't play quarterback at the NFL level, but he understands what it takes to be a quarterback and how to help this quarterback translate these things from the meeting room to the field. So it just depends on the person. Sometimes you could have former players that do not understand that. Like, they cannot translate. They are great players. Like you said, you're talking about Wayne Gretzky. Jamie talked about it. There are some things where great players cannot understand. Why didn't you see that? I didn't see it. What did you see?
Right.
I saw it 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting to see it, sir.
That's why they call you the great one.
That's why you were who you are.
Yeah.
You were elite. And that's why most times really high-level players don't turn out to be great coaches, because they're gifted in a way that 90% of the team that you're coaching ain't going to be. 98%, 99% of them can't do what you were able to do, and it becomes extremely frustrating for them. Why the hell can't you do that? God didn't give me that. I don't know. He gave it to you. He left it out of my bag. Like, I'm not able to do that thing that you were able to do. So, to me, the best coaches are the ones, if you played, you have a true understanding of how hard it is, and you work with those athletes. You're upfront, you're honest, and you respect and appreciate the work that they're putting in, even if it's not to the level of what you want from them. Like, Monty is a perfect example. We talked to him yesterday. He understands, like, how hard it is to play at that level, but you still got to get it done. Like, and these are the expectations, and if you're not meeting those expectations, we got to go in a different direction.
Right.
And every professional athlete understands that. But it's the part where you're not giving me a clear understanding of what you need from me. You're not giving me clear directive, what you want, and then you're upset because I'm not meeting the criteria that I don't know what the level is or what the expectations are. So I think that does it help to be a former player? Yes. Do you have to be? No.
So circling back to Pujols, I want to read this one part. This is from Rojas, who was the Yankees He plays for the Yankees. He was a pitcher that faced. Remember when Marsh brought up the home run trot the other day? Mm-hmm. Rojas was the pitcher who got tagged by Caminero, the young Rays hitter who basically took 45 minutes to round the bases. But this is what Rojas was saying about Pujols. Obviously, he's going to keep learning more if he chooses to do this again next year or if he has a role with a big league staff. But I don't know that he'll ever take a coaching role before a manager's job. It would be great for him, just for him to see up close what the day-to-day is like. So I think that's the question with Albert and whether or not he'll ever become a big league manager. Will there be a team that says, we understand that outside of being a manager in the Dominican, Winter Bowl leagues or Summer Bowl leagues or whatever, you don't have big league experience. But if you're the Cardinals and the time is right on both sides, if he isn't if you don't call him, it's a massive missed opportunity. I'd rather see it not work and know it didn't work than watch the greatest hitter I ever saw in my time and the connection that Albert's able to make both when he was with the Cardinals in both instances and now coaching in the Dominican League. I'd rather see it not work and know it didn't work than not pick up the phone and watch him go someplace else and succeed.
And do you think that would work with what Chaim Bloom is trying to implement too?
You would think so. Mm-hmm. You would think so. Given the fact that whether it was Juan Yepes or Nolan Arenado or anybody in between, a young player and a veteran, all saying the same thing about Albert and all going to him.
I also wonder if certain players would want to play for him, and that would be a draw to St. Louis.
Absolutely.
So my question would be, could you go, because that would be the fourth manager in a row that has no major league experience before they take over the Cardinals.
Hey,
and if you are,
what's one more?
If it doesn't work, people are going to point to that specifically.
I don't think so.
If it were me,
you don't think so?
No, they'll point to the front office and ownership.
Who hired him?
Yeah, but it's Albert Pujols.
That's where I'm at. I would rather see it not work, man.
People will separate what he did as a Cardinal player versus what he is doing as a Cardinal manager. They will. People are. If it doesn't work, you don't carry it over and say, "Oh, but he hit that home run in Houston that time. How about that?" Yeah, the Cardinals ain't won in 3 weeks.
Right.
Those are going to be two totally different people in Cardinal fans' minds.
I think that you look at a guy that has a ton of baseball knowledge, and if you can't essentially put together a good team with him. Like, I'm looking at that as a roster construction problem and perhaps a front office ownership problem. Like, that's just me. Maybe I'm biased because the guy is one of the best players to ever, step on the baseball diamond. Like, I would like to think, and maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it's a Wayne Gretzky type thing, that Jamie's talked about before.
I
don't think it would be. I want to see it, though. And here's the problem. You know what? Like, if it's going to happen and he's going to be a manager,
he's got to be in the Cardinal.
He has to be. Like, the last thing you want to do is let that guy go somewhere else, and then all of a sudden it does work, and you look like a bunch of idiots.
Agreed. Completely agree. Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Speaking of Marsh, he's got what's trending next in the Fast Lane.
topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Oh, boy. We have some news in the NFL, and it has nothing to do with the Super Bowl. We are closer to Deshaun Watson information than we are to Patrick Mahomes and, like, the Chiefs three-peating in this certain situation that I'm about to bring up.
I don't like this.
No, it's not great. This is breaking. Ravens kicker Justin Tucker has been accused of inappropriate behavior by 6 Baltimore area massage therapists, according to an investigation by the Baltimore Banner.
Whoa. So, Justin Tucker has released a full statement saying that these allegations are unequivocally false. It says, throughout my career as a professional athlete, I've always sought to conduct myself with the utmost professionalism. I've never before been accused of misconduct of any kind, and I've never been accused of acting inappropriately in front of a massage therapist or during a massage therapy session or during other body work. I have never received any complaints from a massage therapist, have never been dismissed from a massage therapy or bodywork session, and have never been told that I was not welcome at any spa or any other place of business. And then he went on for 4 paragraphs, talking about how these are just false claims.
Of course.
Once I reviewed the newspaper's allegations against me, it was apparent that the newspaper was deliberately misconstruing events as nefarious, which were not, and were relying on a third-party speculation to create the false, preconceived narrative about me that they believed would generate clicks. I mean, look, if this newspaper is in the wrong, I hope there's compensation in some way, shape, or form for Justin Tucker. I really do. If the allegations are true, then Justin Tucker deserves the same treatment that Deshaun Watson and anybody else that has misconduct before has received. That's kind of my statement on it.
What you guys? Yeah.
Conveniently, Carey decided to leave.
It's crazy.
Albert Pujols talk, Carey's here.
Yeah.
Little NFC, no dynasty talk,
Yeah.
Carey. Boom. 10 minutes. Blues, sure.
Loves it.
Justin Tucker, he out. You know why? Tucker was once on his fantasy team. And
He was.
he's a Raven.
Yeah.
And you're not going to sit here and talk bad about any Ravens.
Oh, well, if he's done what they've accused him of,
Yeah.
you better believe that. It's weirdo behavior.
See what happens.
That's true.
I wonder if that had anything to do with, again, we don't know.
How poorly he was playing.
Maybe.
I mean, if you got some stuff going on mentally, it's possible.
Especially if you're a kicker. I mean, if any player, but
Yeah. Yes.
if you're not right between the ears, you're not going to be right between the goalpost.
The uprights.
The uprights, I mean.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Anthony, are you getting a tattoo of Michael Penix Jr. on your back?
You never know.
Lower back.
You never know.
And we saw a listener tweet at you.
It's Jason.
Jason, he thought that maybe you had the Patrick Mahomes, and it looks like it is called a champ stamp.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Champ
goodness.
stamp.
Yeah, he's got a photo of somebody. He says, "This you?" And I responded, I said, "No, my Penix one isn't finished yet."
Ah. You getting one?
No.
Michael Penix Jr.?
No, I just thought it was a
If
good
you win a
response.
Super Bowl, you will.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Lower back, small
I don't
back.
have any tattoos.
I know, that's your first one. First championship, Anthony. First ever championship for the Atlanta Falcons.
First of all, that's never going to happen.
You stop
right.
it. You hush your mouth.
It's never going to happen.
You better believe.
You know it. I know it. The whole world knows
We
it.
came close.
Yeah. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Lost.
Yeah.
To the Eagles. Andy Reid.
No, the Patriots.
No, we lost.
Oh, you guys in the NFC title game. Yeah.
That wasn't close at all.
No, that one was not close. That one was not close.
What are your thoughts on people that get like championship tattoos before the game is even played, and then they lose? It's like, why did you do that?
Right.
You almost like jinxed your team.
They have
tough.
a story to tell.
Yeah.
It's a story.
That's a terrible story to tell.
Maybe.
Yeah, because no matter what, you don't look good in that.
Yeah, it's like, let's say, okay, you wanted your favorite team to win in 2021, right? Maybe you could change the numbering or whatever it is, but like there's just some numbers that you just can't change.
Right.
It's a tough look.
But the question will always be, if you're somebody that got a tattoo of your team winning a title before they won the title and they lose, you're going to get the same question every single time.
Why'd you do it?
Why? Why wouldn't you wait? Waterboy brings up a good point. He says you can get a tattoo in Section 305 at the Cardinals game.
Yeah.
No 305.
Yet. Renovation's coming soon.
Maybe they'll have a Section 305 at that pitching lab.
There you go.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe they'll name it Section 305.
Maybe.
You know what?
No?
I just thought of an idea. It'll never happen, but that sounds like a cool name for a restaurant.
Section
Section
305.
305.
Section 305? Okay.
It's outside of the stadium.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
It's down, of course. It's down the first base side.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to laugh when the DeWitts put something like that in there. No copyright, no nothing.
Yep. We don't get anything
Nope. They just cash in big.
on our or your idea.
Yeah.
yeah, how would that look legally?
It wouldn't look like anything.
Yeah, they would.
Really?
Yeah.
I couldn't just show this audio to like a lawyer or somebody.
No.
Maybe.
Damn it.
I mean, you could, but I don't think there'd be what on what
Are
ground.
you actually planning? Well, now, actually, I think he can because he already mentioned that he's thinking about creating
Thinking
a
about doing
Section
it.
305 restaurant. We are thinking of
We
creating
are. Yeah.
a Section 305 restaurant.
Investors?
Yep.
Maybe.
Is it possibly or is it maybe?
Maybe you. Possibly you.
Could be you.
Oh,
Now, what do they say?
We really screwed that up.
Step Brothers, but it's
Well,
from
of
Step
course,
Brothers.
yes.
What do they say though?
We'll have to look it up.
Possibly you.
Investors? Possibly you? I don't know.
Maybe you. No, it's got to be possibly.
Well, now I don't know.
Okay. We'll look it up in the break. All right, Marsh. Is that all you want to talk about?
That's
Justin
all I
Tucker
wanted.
maybe being
Not a good guy.
not a good guy.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have him in the Gauntlet today. Face you.
Oh. Find out.
We'll find out real quick. Because if he beats you, then we'll know.
Terrible person.
We'll know. We should just do that for everything.
Maybe. It's like a prerequisite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. I had this thought. Droid from our snake pit left us a mic drop yesterday. And it was on a certain player, right, Marsh? Was that on Jordan Walker specifically?
Maybe.
Okay. I kind of had this thought about Jordan Walker and whether or not the Cardinals can screw him up, screw up his development. And I think Droid was on the same wavelength. We're going to have this discussion next on 101 ESPN. Two-time tickets brought to you by Collection Jewelers and officially licensed Rolex jeweler Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. So I was thinking yesterday, and I kind of shared this thought with you guys in the office about young players, specifically in this case, a guy like Jordan Walker. And Marsh, you said, well, we got a mic drop. We got a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop from Droid, who's in our snake pit, about Jordan Walker that probably fits with this conversation. So let's first hear from Droid about Jordan Walker, and then I'll kind of share some of my thoughts that I threw at CD and Marsh.
The single most important player for the 2025 St. Louis Cardinals season is Jordan Walker, without a doubt. Can he play in the outfield? No. Can he be okay in the outfield? Maybe. Can he hit 300? I don't know. We got to find out. Can he hit the ball in the air? Well, let's not hit pop flies, but can he hit it in the air with authority, gap to gap, line to line? Is he able to do that? Can he lower the strikeout numbers? We need to see that. We need to see just these improvements. Hitting the ball on the ground's great sometimes. Situationally, it can be good. It can also hurt you if it's a double play situation. So there's pros and cons to it, but you got to start hitting the line drive. And hopefully he's been working on that. I am sure he has. But Jordan Walker has to become the star player that they think he can be, and that we all know he can be. This guy is a generational athlete, and the Cardinals are going to waste it. I just know it. They already have. All right, love you, Snake Pit. What up?
All right, again, that's from that's Droid. Droid, who left us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop. You can do so as well. Just go to the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Here's my question for you guys. And Droid phrased it as, and it was right at the tail end, but Droid phrased it as they're going to waste him. The Cardinals are going to waste him. What I'm about to ask, it isn't necessarily whether or not a franchise, a team, a coach can waste a player. Because we've seen it. We've seen it in other sports. We've seen it in baseball, certainly. But one of the most obvious examples, and there are many, from my lifetime, and CD, you're in, you and I are similar ages, but the Lions wasted Barry Sanders. They wasted Calvin Johnson. Like, they wasted that talent by not building enough around them. But those are still great players. My question for you guys, can a team, coach, franchise screw up a truly great player?
So the Barry Sanders comparison is different for me because he's still a Hall of Famer. So screwed up his career in terms of
he's great,
his legacy.
But they wasted what they had in him.
Okay.
But can you truly screw up?
No.
A great. So I'm with you on that.
If you're great, you don't. I've said this before. If I have a great player, like a truly great player, you just need to stay the hell out the way.
Yeah.
You can get in the way. Like, just stay out the way.
Yeah.
But that player knows how to correct things, knows how to fix things, knows how to be great. There's something about them that makes them different from everyone else.
Right.
And so your job is to not get in the way, but can you truly mess up a great player? I mean, maybe Andrew Luck might be an example because he got his spine, his spleen ripped out or just shredded, lacerated.
Jamie?
No.
Oh,
Andrew Luck.
Gotcha.
Andrew Luck was a great player that...
Jamie doesn't have a spleen either.
Yeah, some people. They said you don't really need it. I don't know why you have it. But they can remove it and you can still go about your day.
Yeah, I'm sure it's important.
Somehow, but maybe not as important as
Jamie's still walking around.
See what I'm saying? So, but yeah, you can get a player injured in certain sports if you're not protecting them or keeping them upright. But I think like a sport like baseball, I don't think you can ruin a truly great player because they're going to figure it out one way or another.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And the only reason I bring this up is because sometimes, and by the way, Droid did not do this, but I've heard people say, I have said it in previous years as a fan. I'm sure a lot of people, whether you're a Cardinals fan, a Blues fan, a Yankees fan, whatever, have uttered the words, blank team, my team, screwed this player up. I don't think you can screw up great.
No.
I think that if you're a truly great player, you're kind of immune to that organization. Again, I'm not saying that a player, their career can't be wasted, to use Droid's word, because I think that can absolutely happen. We've seen that. There's numerous examples. But I don't think the Cardinals can screw him up. Jordan Walker, if he's a truly great player, and we'll see over time, if he's a truly great player, that's what he's going to be. Right. He's going to be a truly great player.
I agree.
If he's mediocre, it's not because the Cardinals ruined him. Mm-hmm. It's because he probably was overhyped as a prospect.
And I feel like that specifically in baseball. Baseball is a team sport, but it's so individualized. Like, it's you versus the pitcher when you're in the batter's box. Like, there are other factors going on, but it's you and him. Like, you have to beat him in that moment. And if you're able to do that, you're probably going to have success. Football, again, is a sport where there are so many other factors, people not doing their job properly, and they're not the right people around you. You could not have as much. Saquon Barkley is a prime example. He is outstanding. He's had an outstanding season. He never would have had this season had he stayed with the New York Giants because they didn't put the right people around him.
Still would have been a great player.
Still would have been
a great player on a horrible team.
But not what he is now. And so, for me, if Jordan Walker is great, then yeah, let's see. Let's see if he is actually as great as they have projected him to be. I hope he is. This team needs greatness.
Yeah.
I think the Cardinals and the Blues both need a superstar or two. And right now, Jordan Walker and Mason Wynn, I think, are lining themselves up. Well, I would say Mason Wynn more so. We don't know what Jordan Walker is. Mason Wynn is lining himself up to be a superstar. We hope that Jordan Walker can follow in that suit and be the other superstar that this team needs as well.
Yeah,
because you got to have superstars.
I also think there's, and this is obvious, but I'll say it anyways. Look, there's got to be some development that goes along with it. Mason Wynn, for example, had a great rookie season. Has he seen his ceiling yet as a player? Absolutely not. I hope not. I don't think so. He's not a great player yet. Like, great comes with consistency. If you're a Hall of Famer, you do it damn near every single year. If you're a really good young player, and you have shown that over the years, or you've shown that for a year, I should say, there should be some leeway to say, okay, we'll see if you become a great player. But I think all the tools are there for Mason Wynn, though.
Right. It's all there.
It's all there for him.
Yep.
Can it be for Jordan Walker?
It needs
23
to be.
Years old.
This team needs it to be.
Yeah.
Like, there is not, I don't know. I mean, we've talked about Nolan Gorman. We've seen that. I don't think he has the true superstar potential because we've kind of seen what he is. He's swing and miss. He's going to hit some. He's going to hit a lot, and then he's going to strike out a lot. Lars Nootbaar, we talked about him yesterday. He's a guy that has consistently been injured. I think another potential superstar on the defensive side is Victor Scott and Michael Ciani. I think both of those guys, I don't know how you figure that out because they're both outstanding in center field. Michael Ciani, in my opinion, can be a Gold Glove center fielder if given the opportunity to play every single day. But the true superstar on this team, who else you got?
You mean besides Alec Burleson?
Well, he's a St. Louis star, Anthony. There's a difference. I need you to know that you're there's levels, right?
Yeah.
You got, okay, so it's like Hall of Famer, superstar, all-star, St. Louis star.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
There you go. See?
Let's see if Marsh was paying attention. He absolutely was.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Are you still on that St. Louis Star bandwagon?
100%.
Okay.
100%. I hope he has a good year.
St. Louis star like So Taguchi, St. Louis star?
Yeah,
John Jay?
What would be your definition?
John Jay a St. Louis star?
I think John Jay is somewhat of a St. Louis star.
I agree.
Like a guy that is very well known throughout the community.
You don't like John
and
Jay?
the team.
Oh, stop it. I
dare
like
you.
John Jay. I like him a lot.
Shame on you, Anthony.
Shame on you for putting words in my mouth.
You just took a deep breath. When I said John Jay, you said...
I just don't understand. Oh, I was not that pretentious. I just don't understand. I have a different viewpoint on the word star.
St. Louis Star.
But that doesn't mean if you play for the Cardinals, you're a star. You're good.
David Eckstein, St. Louis Star.
Wow, that was different. That's different.
Why?
Because he won a World Series MVP.
But he was David Freese is a St. Louis superstar? St. Louis Star?
Absolutely.
St. Louis Star.
There you go.
No,
We're giving you the measuring stick of where he believes that Alec Burleson will be.
Okay. So
I appreciate you hopping on this train.
Yeah.
Timeout. You threw the ball at me. I caught it and allow me to return it back to you. If David Freese is a St. Louis Star, you're putting John Jay on the same level?
Sure.
Anthony, there's different tiers within the St. Louis Star.
There
How many tiers do we have? I'm about to shed some tears.
There's about three.
Mac brings up Pat Maroon. Pat Maroon is a St. Louis Star, unquestioned.
Yeah.
Are we sure we want to just go ahead and put everybody in that category?
Nah.
I'm not. We're not. We're not putting everybody in there. But I'm saying I think Alec Burleson can get to that level.
John Jay?
You know what? How I would describe John Jay? Really good Cardinal. That's how John Jay. If somebody say John Jay, really good Cardinal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call John Jay a star.
Okay, let's fine. We'll get rid of John Jay on the St. Louis Star tier system.
No, you keep
No,
that.
it's
You
fine,
keep it.
Anthony. It's fine.
I just think your St. Louis Star list is a lot longer than mine. I think it's like 250 players more than mine, I would say. Because I just feel like you're going to go you're deep here.
During his career, would you say Dunk was a St. Louis Star?
During his career, no.
He's pretty well known throughout the community.
But I think that Dunk kind of his star rose through the media.
That's fair.
You know. But I don't think St. Louis, like Yachty would be a St. Louis Star.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Okay, but
what are we doing here? You didn't get the
a
tiers?
St. Louis superstar.
You didn't get the. That's not a
St. Louis Star.
No, I didn't get the tiers. I asked for the tiers.
Hall of Famer, superstar, Hall of Famer, All-Star, superstar, St. Louis Star.
But I feel like that's a pretty big
those two
list then.
Nah. The Hall of Famer is, who a Hall of Famer is.
Really good Cardinal. John Jay. Not a St. Louis Star.
I hope John Jay's listening.
So St. Louis Stars essentially, have moments or they have really good careers and people really enjoy them whenever they come back to an event.
Yeah.
That's how I look at like a St. Louis Star.
How about we do this? Every time a player receives a standing ovation at Busch Stadium, they get to become a St. Louis Star.
Well, no, we can't allow other players to be a St. Louis Star.
They were.
I'm just saying that seems to be your criteria.
Matt Carpenter,
St. Louis Star.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Ryan,
thank you. At least we can agree on that.
Ryan the Snake Pit said, somebody take Anthony's flask away. I would love. I'm very curious here. I'm not angry at all. I'm very curious. Ryan, what part of my take led you to believe that I was ham-sauced?
I'm glad you admitted that you're not. You put it up front that you're not angry.
Yes, I'm not. Yeah. I'm genuinely curious.
You got St. Louis.
Ryan thinks I'm ham-sauced. What part of my take led you to believe I was ham-sauced?
Probably John Jay not being a St. Louis Star. I lost me there.
Maybe I'm wrong on this. Walrus King says Paul Skeens is a St. Louis Star. All right. That was fun. Good stuff, guys. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Thank you, Mac. Mac says Anthony's right on this one. I appreciate
Jackie
you, Mac.
Joyner Kersey is a Hall of Fame.
G-Dog with Jackie. Yeah, that is right.
Not St. Louis.
We're not.
That's we're past St. Louis. We're international, like all over the world.
Ricky Prohl, St. Louis Star.
I don't think he played enough here to be a St. Louis Star. He had a St. Louis moment.
Yeah.
He's a Carolina Panther that played for the St. Louis Rams.
Not in my book.
Waterboy, you guys aren't normally ham sauce when doing the show? Fair point, Waterboy. All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Hot take or hot garbage is next. So if you got a hot take or hot garbage, text in. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Hot take, hot garbage next in the Fast Lane.
Hey, it's Kerry Davis, and if you have any car needs, maybe you need standard maintenance, detailing, ceramic coating, paint, dent repair, or collision repair, you need to reach out to my good friends at All Things Appearance. The owner, Jeff, is a great guy. He can get you in and get you out, get you taken care of as soon as possible. He wants you to come there and be a repeat customer if you need the work done. His number is 636-248-5051, or you can reach out to them at allthingsappearance.com. And that number that I just gave you is Jeff's personal number. He wanted me to let you know that you can call him anytime, day or night, weekends. He is going to respond to that message and get you in and get you out as soon as possible. Like I said, they do the dent repair, the collision repair. If you have insurance that needs to be worked with, warranty companies, maybe they're giving you a hard time, Jeff will reach out to them and work with you to get the best price available. He wants his customers to be treated right, treated fairly, and get you back on the road as quickly as possible and not overcharge you for something that other places might. So reach out to them today, 636-248-5051, or online at allthingsappearance.com.
Hot take. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. Time for hot take or hot garbage. You've got a statement that you want to send in. 314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. What do you got, Marsh?
All right, let's go to the 636.
Splashback deuce.
Yeah.
SZA, St. Louis star. No doubt.
She's from St. Louis.
I know SZA.
Yeah. Or
Used to go by SCA.
as we like to call her around here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, me. Some white.
I was going to say we.
No, not
We're all
you.
together.
You help me.
I don't know if you being white is an excuse. Never.
Sorry,
a lot of people.
old and white. There you go. Yeah. Because you knew, Marsh, and you're white.
Marsh is there we go.
But he's young. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Marsh. I was already feeling real good about myself today.
Well, I'm sorry for bringing you down, Anthony. I know you were having a great day. From the 636, hot take or hot garbage, Mizzou ends up as a 5 seed and gets a first-round matchup versus a 12-seeded SLU.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
It would, but I'd also be bummed out.
Why?
Because you want to see
both of them to do well.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Wow. Is it too early to be thinking about seeding?
Probably. They got a lot of.
I mean, we still got
a season left.
Yeah.
What, they got like 12 games, 10 games left?
Easily. Because the conference
then they get to the-
championships aren't until,
Right.
what, first weekend of March, second weekend of March?
Something like that. Yeah.
So
They
we
got
got some time. But I'm with Marsh, just in general. No, I don't want that either.
Mm-hmm.
I want separate brackets. We can root for the local team separately.
Yeah.
Illinois, big game tonight in the land of corn.
Fire up Illini.
Fire up Illini.
Yo, get it.
How do you like them tonight?
I'll always like Illini.
Yeah,
I always love Illinois.
Okay.
No matter who they're playing. Yeah. The Cornhuskers.
Yep.
Huh? Yeah.
In Lincoln, Nebraska.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Okay.
So we have St. Louis Stars, and we might have to add another tier to said system.
Oh, wow.
From the 314 hot take or hot garbage, Jordan Walker is an overhyped star.
No, it's hot garbage. How do you know? You haven't seen enough either way.
I say hot take.
Hot garbage. How? How's it hot take?
I feel like we've been talking about Jordan Walker, but no, we haven't seen it.
How many games has Jordan Walker played in?
I just feel like he's still on all the
he had 200
top
games
prospect list and things like that.
I think
we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, he's on those lists. He's in like promotional stuff. Like that's when you, in my opinion, become a St. Louis star, right? You're starting to be on the promotional material. Like Harrison Bader. Remember Harrison Bader when the Powder Blues came back? He was like the face of that uniform.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at that time, it didn't go great.
Okay.
To me, like that would have been like overhyped star.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't even played. He's played 168 games.
It's full season.
Is it a full season?
It's not.
We haven't
over 2 seasons. You don't know what.
We haven't seen enough. Ellipsis 150 is right though. From the snake pit, cold dead hands cost you Juan Soto.
Yeah,
He's right.
I don't think that's all it took.
It was on the table. Dylan Carlson for Juan Soto.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's wrong.
Myth, a narrative.
Yeah, I don't
we'll never know.
Flat out wrong.
Flat out wrong.
Yeah, but I'll say
he did say it though. He did say cold dead hands.
Oh yeah, that part is true. Yeah,
But it wasn't
not for my
one for
cold
one.
dead hands. Some believe it was 1 for 1.
Some do. I can pretty much assure you that it was not.
Yeah, I think the Nationals. Who's it? Rizzo? Is it Mike Rizzo, the GM for the Nationals?
I think so.
I think he would have not only have been like hammered, but basically ready to pass out if it was Carlson for Soto straight up. Yeah. Oh, and high as a kite.
Yeah, you make that deal right now.
Yeah,
that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
The hell are you waiting on?
Yeah.
From the 618, hot take or hot garbage, one or both of Jordan Kyrou or Robert Thomas will not be on the Blues next season.
Robert Thomas or who?
Jordan Kyrou.
No, I got hot garbage on that. I think both of them will be right here.
One or the other will not be in the.
Yeah, I think both.
Yeah,
will
I think
be
that's
here.
hot garbage too. They're here. When's the contract up? That's when they won't be here, Anthony. You're welcome.
So like 8 years.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. See it through.
Because I think they're only in year 1, aren't they?
I believe so. Or year 2.
Year 1 or 2. Yeah. No, they'll both be here.
Pete from Freeburg says this sounds suspiciously like true or poo.
Nah, completely different.
What? What are you talking about?
Completely different, Freebird.
Like take it or leave it. Somebody said that. What is that? Hey, this is hot take or hot garbage.
We'll take it or leave it. A fine segment,
Yeah, it is.
but not the same.
Not nearly the same.
Yeah.
Come on, Pete. Pay attention.
FedEx Colton, hot take or hot garbage, the Blues currently do not have a Hall of Famer, a superstar, or a St. Louis star.
Hot take.
Oh, they've got St. Louis stars. Jordan Bennington.
Hot garbage, Carey.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. I'll give you that one. I'll rescind my hot garbage.
Thank you.
I stopped listening at Hall of Famer and Superstar.
Okay.
They
don't
tend
have
to do that. I don't know if you know that about me. I don't
You don't listen to the full question?
Hell no.
What about, do you
What about a full tease?
Nope.
Okay.
If I listened to the full tease, I would know what the hell we were doing when we came back, and I would have to ask you.
What are we doing?
Do you think Colton Parayko would be a superstar if he played in a different market? Or do you think he doesn't put up enough offensive points to...
Parayko?
Yeah, Parayko.
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe in Toronto. But
Yeah.
no, I don't think so. I think you have to be... I mean, would you consider... And I'm not just talking about from an NHL standpoint, okay? I'm not just talking about a hockey standpoint. I'm talking about... Like Connor McDavid, everybody knows Connor McDavid.
Right.
Who's that?
He plays for the Oilers.
Oh, okay.
Cale Makar,
Yeah.
hockey star,
Yes.
But would you consider him like a superstar overall?
In all of sports?
Yeah.
I would, no.
Okay, so if Cale McCarr's not,
Like, if you're not...
Colton Parayko's not.
I mean, hockey never even... It barely gets talked about on ESPN, and they have the rights, to,
Right.
the NHL. They split it with TNT.
Right.
In terms... Like, it gets talked about, but, like, in terms of, like, NBA, NFL, like, those are the two sports that dominate, national news.
Sure.
I don't know. I think some people would say that he is, but those people might be hockey fans.
I would say you're not a superstar if people outside of your sport don't know who you are.
Okay.
That would be my... And with that being said, people... So for me, you're a superstar when you can walk down the street and people are like, oh, that's him. Connor McDavid might not be... He's a superstar, but I don't... By name, I don't know if people could pick him out of a lineup. Like 10 random people... Pick out the NHL superstar and tell us his name. Or pick out the random superstar. Tell them. They probably wouldn't be able to. But if you said Connor McDavid, they might be, oh, I know the name. I know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Like even NFL players are not, they're hard to pick out of lineups because we wear helmets. Unless it's like a quarterback. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't be able to, Chris Jones is a superstar. Most people wouldn't be able to pick him out of a lineup.
Yeah, true. Okay.
You happy?
Me?
Yeah.
I think he's satisfied.
No, I'm never satisfied.
Oh, well.
That's how you
more
become.
work to do.
That's how you become average. You're never satisfied.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Cam Newton said something that Marsh played for us in the office today, and Marsh and I were like, "What? How could he say that?" And Carey's like, "Totally agree with him." And then we looked at Carey and we're like, "What?" Then Carey brought up really good points. We'll tell you, you'll listen to what Cam Newton said, and we'll tell you why Carey agrees with what he said and what he specifically chose in his career. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues are off today, but they'll take on the Colorado Avalanche tomorrow. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. Tonight, you can listen to some NBA action. We have the Grizzlies going up against the Rockets. Pregame for that one starts at 8 o'clock. Tip-off is at 8:30. Coming up next, Cam Newton said something very interesting on First Take. We're going to discuss that and see what Carey has to say about it. That's all coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Is a little long from ESPN's First Take, but it's interesting. So they had Cam Newton, obviously former quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, and they asked him whether or not he would exchange his MVP, he's got one MVP award, for a Super Bowl ring. Here's what Cam Newton said.
If you could give back that league MVP for a Super Bowl championship, would you do it?
No.
Oh.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Because you have to ask it through this lens. That was a very journalistic viewpoint or vantage point or response, Stephen A. I'll ask you this question, and, just to pose this thought. What's more important, impact or championships? You look at a guy like Allen Iverson, who you stood up on the table and blah, 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 blah. Everybody's not going to be Michael Jordan. Everybody's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's not going to be these individuals who have the luxury of saying, hey, I not only dominated this sport, but I also have championships to back it. Like, let me remind you, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Respectfully, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So, yes, when you look at those guys and you say, okay, what's more important? Would you have preferred to win a Super Bowl? I think that's the humble approach. But if we're being honest, the impact of you holding yourself accountable to say everybody has a responsibility to do. And you can say as an MVP award winner or an All-American, you've held yourself or you've held your end of the bargain down. And that's what it really comes down to for me. I know that's not the popular pick. I'm trying to be popularized. But my take is I'm taking individual success because I did my job. Football is not about one guy trying to do 11 jobs. It's 11 guys doing one job. And if everybody does their job best, famous words of our coach, Belichick, just do your job.
All right, so again, that was Cam Newton. And the question was, would you, and this was posed by Stephen A. Smith on First Take, would you exchange the MVP trophy that Cam Newton won for a Super Bowl? And Cam immediately said, absolutely not. So when Marsh posed the question to us in the office, CD goes, yeah, no, I agree with him. And Marsh and I were like, what?
Yeah, you all fell over. And I was like, what? Are you okay?
And he's like, you're a Super Bowl winner. And you said?
Yeah, it's only, I just did the math. I think it's like 49 people ever to be named MVP of the National Football League. He's one of them. There are thousands of Super Bowl winners. Mm-hmm. And so just based on the sheer numbers, what he did was much harder to do, being the best player for an entire season amongst all of the best players in the world. It's clearly based on the numbers. It's extremely difficult. The Super Bowl, and this is what I keep telling people, is a team thing. It is not one individual. Patrick Mahomes does not play safety. He does not rush the quarterback. He does not drop into curl flat. He ain't blocked the 3 technique yet this year or once in his entire career. Mm-hmm. There are teammates that do those jobs, and that's how you win a Super Bowl. You win a Super Bowl because you have the best team. To be the best player, that is individualized. That means you had a hell of a year. Cam Newton went to the Super Bowl And they lost to a very good Denver Bronco team. Like, that team was outstanding. But
the defense was outstanding.
They were. Man, that was the one. Yeah, that was the one where Peyton's arm was hanging on by a thread.
It was not pretty.
Which lets you know that the quarterback is not what all it takes to win a Super Bowl. It's a team.
You bite
effort.
your tongue. That's Peyton Manning you're talking about. Doesn't sound like it.
Love him. But it takes a team to win a Super Bowl, and if you don't have the best team, you ain't gonna win one.
Yeah.
But to be the best player in the world for a season, I would never take that away. To be a Super Bowl champion, I think that's something that, and it's not being selfish; it's being honest. It's hard to do both, but what he did for that particular season, and they went 15-2. He was a major cog in what they were doing, but it's still a team effort in order to win. They go 15-2 or 15-1.
No, they went 15-1.
15-1. It was 16 games that year. 15-1.
Yeah.
Who'd they lose to, Carey?
Probably your team.
Damn right they did.
How'd your team do? Did they make it to the playoffs?
You know, Carey, why do you got to be hurtful?
Was it? I don't know which game it was. Was it game 16, 17? Was it last?
It was
week 17.
It was their last game.
So they didn't play their starters?
No, they did.
Oh,
because they're going for an undefeated season.
Oh,
and we crapped all over it.
Good job, Atlanta. All right.
Boy, I do not like where this is going right now.
Good job.
Yeah, but you said it in a way that was. I know what you're doing over there. You're being condescending. I just realized, Marsh, that there is I don't know why I didn't realize this, but there is like this massive divide between fan and player.
100%, because I completely disagree with Carey.
But I
respect what he's saying because he played the game.
I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
It makes sense. As an individual, you were one of one.
Yes.
That season. One MVP award, it was you. So I and you as a player are trying to achieve either make a team, once you make a team, be a starter, then you're a starter, then you want to be great, MVP.
Yeah.
So, Carey, everything you said, I wouldn't have even considered otherwise had I not heard exactly what you said. You have illustrated this perfectly. As a fan who, as of right now, has never played for an NFL team, and I'm saying right now.
Still time.
Still time.
Mm-hmm. You're getting close to the cutoff, though. I got to be honest.
What do you mean?
Age.
Do you age out in the NFL? I didn't think it was a rule.
It's not
Carey,
a written rule.
did you see me at the O'Fallon Hoots?
It's not a written
dropping
rule.
bombs.
That's baseball.
It's just athletic performance. It's athletic performance overall, CD. But as a fan, in all seriousness, as a fan, and Marsh, I think you're
on the fumble.
Oh, come on.
He would be playing safety. He wouldn't fumble. He's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be playing safety that day. Get away. As a fan, all you care about is your team winning. Mm-hmm. You don't care. I don't care that I'm like Matt Ryan winning an MVP. Great. What's that?
John Score says that he bet Matt Ryan would trade his MVP for one more first down.
John, I said the same thing to Carey, and Carey responded.
Matt Ryan would tell you that in public and in private. He's crazy as hell.
Really?
You are one of one.
That's so disappointing.
There's something that hurts my soul when you say that. I know.
It's not selfish, but you're asking him to trade something that you are one. When you go down the history, when you go down the history of MVPs, your name is ingrained in that forever.
Right.
Forever.
But
And when you go down the list of Super Bowl champions, you're going to talk about, Tom Brady was great. Oh, so was Teddy Bruschi.
But if we're having the conversation, right?
I just, no one remembers regular season
Trent
people.
Dilfer.
Yeah, what about him?
Won a Super Bowl.
So did Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Who do you think about when you think about that team?
Ray Lewis.
Okay. So winning a Super Bowl, it's wonderful. It is outstanding. It is the best feeling in the world.
Super Bowl winner.
Quarterback, MVP of the damn league.
But couldn't win the big one.
Because
that comes with it. You couldn't win the big one.
It is not him it is not Cam Newton by himself.
If he would have fell on that damn football, he would have had a chance.
And you know what would have happened? He might have broke his arm. So would they have had a chance? No. Should he have reached for it? He should have. Would he have broken his arm? Probably. Hyperextended his elbow? More than likely. Probably a 90% chance that his elbow is hyperextended and he can't even play anymore. So what do they lose? They lose. Like, I get it, but this is not an individual game. It's not. It is a team game that requires 11 men on offense, 11 men on defense, and 11 men on special teams to all do their job effectively in order to win a championship. And a coach and coaches to have you prepared for that game. Mm-hmm. They weren't going to beat the Denver Broncos because you just said it. Peyton couldn't even lift his arm. And they won. They scored. How many? Didn't they score 50 points? Was that the game they scored?
Oh, no.
That was the Seahawks.
That was the Seahawks.
Oh, well, yeah.
The Seahawks scored 50 against yeah.
Either way.
No, that one was like 19 to.
It was
a low scoring game.
Yeah, it was a weird scoring game. Yeah.
I was sick as a dog that night.
Were you?
Oh, yeah.
Was it because Beyonce?
No. Like
because Beyonce was the halftime performer. That's why you were sick.
Was she?
Yeah.
We got to stop this. This is Beyonce slander.
There's no wrong answer here. There really isn't. But
I'm bothered by it, though.
Me too.
I'm bothered by it because
we're fans.
As a fan, and again,
all we care about is our team winning.
And like the mindset that you hear about is like team mindset, team first. Like, I can't believe this guy is, out for himself, independent contractor. But then when I hear you talk, and I'm not saying that's the case, but like it sounds like, okay, that might be the case.
Right.
And it makes me feel weird to hear it.
He gave Allen Iverson as an example. Allen Iverson's career is no less great because he didn't win a championship.
Oh, no.
He was outstanding.
I don't think that's what Marsh and I are saying.
Like, it is not. And you know who had Allen Iverson had Eric Snow and Aaron McKee on the side of him. Like, good players. Probably Philadelphia stars.
Is this like
not superstars?
Is this like a hindsight's 2020 situation with what you're saying, or are you in mid-season saying I'd rather win the MVP than the Super Bowl?
Hell no. You're not saying. So he's not saying I'd rather win an MVP than a Super Bowl. He's saying, would you trade your MVP for a Super Bowl? No.
Like hindsight's
I already have this. I'm not trading this for that.
Right.
And conversely, people, would you trade your Super Bowl for an MVP? Hell yes. If I was the MVP of the league now, in comparison to being a Super Bowl champion, those are vastly different things, man. It's like being the CEO versus being president of a company, or it's the same thing, or the vice president. Being somebody that works for the company and your team, your company was outstanding. The CEO, he's going to fly off in his jet while you drive home in your vehicle.
I don't know why that makes me so sad.
I'm just saying.
I'm super sad. But I feel like if you're the MVP, like, you are the CEO, right? And if you're on the Super Bowl winning team and the same position, you're the CEO. You're the guy.
Marsh.
But you're saying he's getting both, and he's not getting both in that instance. He's winning one or the other. And if you are already an MVP, there are only 49 people, I think if my math is correct, that have ever done that in NFL history. Why would you not be proud of what you were unable to win a Super Bowl? So you're going to take yourself off of that smaller list and put yourself on everybody wants to win a Super Bowl, but everybody ain't going to win a Super Bowl. And everybody definitely is not going to win MVP of the league.
What do you think is tougher, to win an MVP or to beat Mahomes and or Brady in this era of football? What is more impressive?
Winning an MVP is always harder.
Oh, I think it's Super Bowl.
No.
If Josh Allen wins MVP.
They have both lost in a Super Bowl. Tom Brady has lost. Patrick Mahomes has lost. Mm-hmm. They have already shown that they can be beaten in Super Bowls. It is very difficult to win an MVP of a league. You have to have a great year, and you got to be outstanding amongst all of the great players.
Answer that. I'm just so we have it on record. All right.
Yes.
I've got an MVP award over here. It says Kerry Davis, MVP.
Okay.
And you earned it, right? Like you earned it. Best player. But you have to give me your Steelers Super Bowl. You are stripped of said Super Bowl.
And all the memories.
And all the memories.
See,
for all intents and purposes. No parade, no nothing.
Do I have the memories that come with that Super Bowl now? I mean, with that MVP?
You had a great year. Obviously, you won MVP, but you fell short.
Listen,
Are you taking it or not? It gives Super Bowl MVP, all that, or memories. I mean, I got the MVP right here.
I think any player that has the
Not asking any player. I'm asking Kerry Davis right now.
During my career, if I was going to be a Super Bowl champion or an MVP of the league, I would have taken MVP of the league, because that to me is it's. But I wasn't. I was a part of a great team that had an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl and win. Mm-hmm. But if you are telling me that you are going to be the greatest player for an entire season versus being one of the players on a team that was great for a season, I think anybody's going to take being the greatest player that year versus being on a group of players for a year.
I'm taking the Super Bowl. You know why? Because legends never die.
Then you should be the MVP.
All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Again, I don't think there's a wrong answer. I really don't care. I completely understand where you're coming from, especially when you work your rear end off to get to where you are and you want to be elite. I do. I get that. But as a fan and now somebody that will never play in the NFL, thanks, Carey, for dashing that dream. Yeah, it's tough. I want my team to win a Super Bowl. All right, we've got Bet the Board next on 101 ESPN. Missouri sports fans, great news. Underdog is available to play in our state. So Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. You could do higher or lower on certain player stats. You got the big game coming up, for example. You can do that. You can couple the Eagles and Chiefs game with maybe an NBA game or an NHL game. And with over 5 million happy players and $2 billion won, Underdog makes it fun and easy to cash in on all your favorite athletes' performances. So as I go over to Underdog right now, one of the things that I really like that they offer is they offer fantasy points. So, for example, Patrick Mahomes facing the Eagles. Right now, higher or lower, 21.45 fantasy points. I think he goes higher than that. It's a couple of touchdowns. Obviously throw the yardage in there. Couple that with higher on Travis Kelce's receiving yards at 64.5. Then we go over to Saquon Barkley. He only had 15 rushing attempts in his last game. Why don't we go lower, 22.5? When it comes to Saquon Barkley's rushing attempts. How you want to build it, it's up to you. And again, they got NHL and NBA as well. But Underdog is the best place to play. Sign up, deposit now with my promo code Anthony to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And if you're in Missouri, you'll get an additional $50 in bonus cash when you place your first $5 entry. That's promo code Anthony at Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. $10 deposit minimum. See UnderdogFantasy.com for terms and conditions. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, a very quick Bet the Board segment here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, Anthony Stalter. How did we do last night?
Yeah, all of us except for Carey did terrible.
Picked up dub.
Those Flyers.
Flyers didn't win for Jamie?
No, Anthony, they lost
smoked.
5-0.
Oh, Jamie.
Yeah,
They got smoked. Bad. That makes me sad for Jamie. Anyways, standings. Marsha, you got them for us?
Yeah, nothing's really changed except for Carey gets another point.
Tomorrow's the last day, right?
Tomorrow's the last day. So Carey has 13 points. Anthony, you have 9. Jamie and I are at 7.
Okay.
It's on me.
Done you?
Give me Bronny James's father. 45 and a half points, rebounds, and assists.
I would have died if you went with Bronny James.
Give me his father.
Give me Bronny James under 1.5 everything. All right. Oh, the line went up.
Shoot.
All right, you know what? I went with this team the other night. And give me Washington again. Give me the Capitals minus 105. They're in Ottawa tonight. Give me Washington minus 105. I've not been great with the old college hoops, so. Out.
All right, I'm looking at the Chicago Blackhawks and the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm going to go with the under in said game at minus 135. Minus 135, under 6.5.
I'm going with the under 2. 135 goals. Seems pretty easy. Jamie texted us again, and he's going right back to the well. He said that even though the Flyers Flyers lost 5-0, he believes that now as a home dog, they're going to do well against his former team, the New York Islanders.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Got the Flyers plus 125. Yeah.
It is it's the due factor.
That's what he wrote.
You didn't score any last night. You're due for a goal.
And all you need is one to win.
There you go.
So that's Jamie's Jamie's thought on that. All right. Marsh, we doing this?
I think so. I think it's happening. The Snake Pit's been asking for it.
So the Snake Pit has spoken.
Do we want to give some people maybe that didn't listen yesterday some context of what's about to happen?
So yesterday was in a bad mood, and Mac popped his head in to the Snake Pit, and he had kind of a comment that it irritated me, but I let it go. And then he said another thing, and where Anthony showed up. And for the next 2 hours, me, Carey, the Snake Pit, just hammered Mac for 2 hours. It was a little rough. But at the end of the day, Mac did get a first star. Marsh gave him a first star, and we all said, hey, you made it. Great. So
he's
now,
back.
So now the Snake Pit has chosen Mac to come on the Gauntlet. But are we doing this in a certain way, Marsh?
So Mac, he wants hockey against Carey. That I've been told that. We know that we need the wheel. The wheel needs to speak. Right.
So Mac, we're having Mac on for the Gauntlet. Mac can choose Carey if he wants, but the wheel will choose the category. That's how we do it. So, all right, Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN. One of the things that Jamie and I love about Stewie is the personal attention that he gives to each and every one of his clients. He's somebody that truly loves being in the mortgage industry and helping people out in St. Louis. And a lot of one-on-one ESPN listeners have called him for various reasons, and Stewie has shared those stories with us. And this is somebody that is truly genuine, truly somebody that cares about his clients and saving his clients money or ensuring that they get the loan in place in a timely manner to get the home of their dreams. So when I say call Stewie on his personal cell phone number at 314-324-4440, I'm calling you for your best interest and for Stewie to show you what he's all about. Jamie recently got a home. He used Stewie. Got closed in less than 2 weeks. Qualified for the bagel loan. If you're borrowing over $200,000 or more, I should say, then you qualify for the bagel loan. No closing costs, no lender fees. Nobody does this. Stewie helps save you money. If you want to refi, or maybe you just want to ask him about whether or not now is the time to refi, call him. Become a client, and he can show you that he's absolutely the best. He's Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. If you missed that phone number I just threw out, Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
404, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome the one and only Mac from the Snake Pit. What's up, Mac?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing all right, man. How are you?
I hope no hard feelings.
No hard feelings, man.
Trolling, that's all it was.
Mac, we buried it. All right, we buried the hatch, but you still stepped into the gauntlet, so it's go time.
I'm here.
All right, we appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. Would you like to take on Marsh, me, or CD?
I want Carey.
Carey Davis.
Good luck, Mac.
Me too.
All right, so Carey's going to make his way into the cone of silence right now. So, Mac, I know in the Snake Pit you're saying that you wanted hockey, but that's up to the wheel. So go ahead and tell Marsh to spin the wheel. Go ahead, Mac.
What?
I'm just going to spin it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marsh,
just spin it.
Spin that wheel. All right, so let's find out. We know you're hoping for hockey here. Let's see if the wheel cooperates. Is it hockey?
No.
Is it random?
No.
Is it football?
Yep.
Wow.
I'll verify here, too.
I'll
It is
even
football.
take a picture.
Yeah, it is football.
That's great.
All right, so it is going to be football. Mac, 4 questions, all football related. Each question worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right, here we go. Last time the Chiefs and Eagles were in the Super Bowl, which player had 3 rushing touchdowns?
Chiefs, Eagles. I will take Jalen Hurts.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 2. The Eagles lost 3 games this season. Which team did they lose to first?
You said the first of 3 games this year?
The first of their 3 losses. Who was that to?
Falcons? Yep. Yeah, we'll do Falcons. Final answer.
All right, question 3. Which college football quarterback finished the season with the most passing yards in NCAA football?
For this year?
Yep.
Give me options.
Jackson Dart, Cam Ward, or Kyle McCord?
Go Cam Ward.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Final question. Out of the 134 teams in the 2024 college football standings, name the only team that failed to win a single game.
Single game all year. Options.
Your options are Western Kentucky, Kent State, or Southern Mississippi.
Go Kent State. Final answer.
All right.
All right, let's bring in Carey Davis. Mac, how you feeling?
Not so good.
All right, we'll see how you did, man. Carey's coming back in from the cone of silence here. He's got his water in hand, otherwise known as his propane tank.
Yeah.
How's the cone of silence, Carey?
Yeah, man, it's quiet in there.
It was. So Ryder's gone, huh?
Yeah,
He's here earlier. Didn't want to sit next to you, huh?
I guess not. Yeah, I'm a good guy.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm a good person.
I'm a good person. Give me taxes. All right. It's been a while for that one. All right.
It's been a while.
Carey.
Yeah.
Your category.
I got hockey, didn't I?
Is football.
Oh, really?
The wheel.
Wow.
The wheel is something else.
The wheel has chosen. Marsh?
Pack a lunch, though.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
Oh, well.
You ready?
Sure.
Question 1. The last time the Chiefs and Eagles were in the Super Bowl, which player had 3 rushing touchdowns?
Say that again?
Last time the Chiefs and Eagles were in the Super Bowl, which player had 3 rushing touchdowns?
So which player had 3 rushing touchdowns? Well,
yes.
Saquon Barkley wasn't there, was he? Huh? Who's the Chiefs running back? Probably wasn't the Chiefs running. Jalen Hurts had a hell of a game. That game. Last time the Chiefs and Eagles. You know what? Give me Jalen Hurts. Final answer.
Question 2. The Eagles lost 3 games this season. Which team did they lose to first?
We talked about that because of a certain pass in the flats that Anthony hates. He hates it. It was the right call. Just didn't execute it properly. Atlanta Falcons, final answer.
Was it the right call?
It was the right call. Yeah, it's on the players, Anthony. We've been through this. You know?
Yeah. Coaching matters.
Okay.
All right. Question 3. Which college football quarterback finished the season with the most passing yards in NCAA football?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Thank you.
So you would have your Shadors, your Cam Wards up there. Well, college football takes into account the bowl games, the playoff games. So do those, we're not going to get an answer on that, are we? This is regular season or all season there, Anthony?
I'll read it again.
Okay, please and thank you.
Which college football quarterback finished the season with the most passing yards in NCAA football?
Finished the season. All right, so, hell, Riley Leonard wasn't up there. They did make it to the final game. They did have 4 more games than other folks. Quinn Ewers got hurt. He missed some time. Arch Manning started a few games. I mean, the answer would probably be the Ohio State quarterback, seeing as how they took it all the way to the national champion, to the natty, as the young folks say. Anthony, give me Kyle McCord. Final answer.
Kyle McCord?
Yes.
You said final answer.
Is that? Oh, God.
Question number 4. Out of the 134 teams in the 2024 college football standings, name the only team that failed to win a single game.
I actually know this. I was trying to get a kid to commit there. I actually had a couple of kids that were, actually was talking to the coach. He was trying to, one of the kids didn't want to go there because they hadn't won a game in ever this year, Bob. That'd be Kent State. Final answer.
All right. Whew. Let's go over these. Mac versus CD in football. We'll see if Carey moved a little too quickly there.
Oh, God.
Last time the Chiefs and Eagles were in the Super Bowl, which player had 3 rushing touchdowns? Mac, you went with Jalen Hurts. Carey, you also went with Jalen Hurts. Correct answer is?
It is Jalen Hurts.
Neither of you needed the options. Nice job, guys. 2-2.
Good job, Mac.
2-2.
Yeah.
The Eagles lost 3 games this season. Which team did they lose to first? Carey, you said the Falcons. Mac, you said the Falcons. Correct answer is?
It is Anthony's Atlanta Falcons.
Neither of you needed the options. Nice job. We got a 4-all tie here. Out of 134 teams in the 2024 college football standings, name the only team that failed to win a single game. Mac, you said Kent State. Carey, you said Kent State. Correct answer is?
It is Kent State.
But Carey did not need the options on that one. Whew. Carey's up by 1. This is a barn burner. Comes down to this. Which college football quarterback finished the season with the most passing yards in NCAA football? Mac, you went Cam Ward. Carey ran through
one, didn't I?
Ran through every quarterback I think that played in college football this season. You landed on Kyle McCord.
Yeah.
Who are you thinking of?
The Ohio, what's his name?
Will Howard.
Will Howard.
But you said Kyle McCord.
Because he was the old quarterback.
But you meant Will Howard.
I did. Doesn't matter now, does it?
Your options: Jackson Dart, Cam Ward, and Kyle McCord.
Wow.
Really?
Of course.
Wow.
If it's Cam Ward,
I meant Will Howard.
We have a walk-off.
Oh,
If it's Kyle McCord or Jackson Dart, Carey wins. Mac.
You have chosen poorly.
Kyle McCord led the league in passing.
Correct answer is?
It is Kyle McCord of
Syracuse. Previously of Ohio State.
I was thinking, I'm like, yeah, he went to the national championship
When
game.
you said Kyle McCord, I'm like, that's why I was laughing reading the answer.
Oh,
or the
that was-
question.
Well, nonetheless, Mac, impressive performance.
Good
man.
job, Mac.
Good. You had 5 points. You had every question right except for that one. And Carey, Carey posted the snowman there, so it was 8-5.
Yep.
But Mac, hey,
All right.
excellent, man.
Hey, I appreciate you guys having me on, for real, and it was fun.
Good job, Mac.
Appreciate
Good job,
you
Mac.
being a good sport, too. Seriously.
Yep.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nice job.
That's like an all-time, like,
Dude.
Gauntlet moment.
Did you hear me? I go, you said Kyle McCord?
Well, then I thought, is this the wrong answer? Is it Will Howard and maybe somebody wrote Kyle McCord thinking that he was,
I was thinking
Ohio State's quarterback
That's
still?
what I'm like. But Kyle McCord came into my brain. I'm like, yeah, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Kyle McCord.
Yeah, you said Ohio State.
Yeah.
So I thought eventually, because you ran through, you said Cam Ward, you said Shadur Sanders, you said Riley Leonard, you said, and then you're like, but Ohio State, because you kept talking about the playoffs.
They add the playoffs, and that's why I asked you, are we including
I couldn't tell you that. I
that, yeah.
What are the odds?
And then you just said Kyle McCord. And I'm like, Ohio State, Kyle McCord.
I'm like,
but you're right.
gotta
He
be
did.
wrong. Yeah.
He did. He played last year for Ohio State.
He was a quarterback.
2 seasons ago now. But wow. Hey, either way, snowman.
Hey.
Nice job, Carey. Nice job. So, wow, that was a good one. That was a barn burner. No doubt
He
about
led
it.
the league in passing at Syracuse.
Apparently.
I was thinking Will Howard.
Somebody had it in the snake pit that he threw for like almost 5,000 yards or something. Did I say that?
He's pretty good, huh?
I would say so.
They should have kept him.
G-Dog. CD had a Rain Man moment. Jay Corn says rigged.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That would have been rigged for me. This one would have been rigged for me. The Falcons, Kent State. You know where Kent State plays?
In the MAC?
That's right. And Ohio.
No, it's like I literally had a kid that I've been talking to this coach from Kent State.
Mm-hmm.
And his dad was like, they ain't won a game.
Yeah.
It's like,
He'll be a star.
He gonna play.
He'll be a Kent State star.
There you go, right away.
Oh, no.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Lars Nootbaar. There's an interesting conversation about Lars Nootbaar, and we talked about him a little bit yesterday, talking about the fact that he's just got to stay healthy, right? Well, at what point do you say, even though that we've seen the potential, we got to move forward here? We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN. David Adler of MLB.com put together an article about Lars Nootbaar. A full season of Nootbaar was the title. Look out, StatCast with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's fascinating on 101 ESPN. What, CD, you all right?
I'm listening to the headline. A full season. Look out.
Yeah. A full season of Nootbaar? Look out, StatCast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's bold.
Well, listen to this.
You got more?
But wait, there's more. David Adler writes, and here's all the underlying numbers are there to support Lars Nootbaar having a potential breakout year. Here are 3 keys that show Nootbaar is capable of big things if he can stay healthy. Number 1, he has great hard hit numbers. Nootbaar excelled by almost all StatCast quality of contact stats in 2024. The big one is hard hit rate, which was a career high 49.5% and ranked in the top 10% of major league hitters. When half your batted balls are hard hit, you'll likely be a highly productive hitter. Number 2, and there's more to this, but I'm not going to read the full article. Number 2, he has even better plate discipline. Nootbaar's foundation as a hitter is exceptional plate discipline. Really? That's the reason he's been able to hit the ball hard consistently. Nootbaar doesn't swing at bad pitches, so he can rip the good ones. That also makes sense to me. I've often said this. One of the things that Dunk had always used to say that has stuck with me forever is that you can't put a good swing on a bad pitch. Mm-hmm. So that one makes sense. Nootbaar only chased 16.9% of his pitches outside the strike zone last season. That was the lowest chase rate out of the 214 hitters who saw as many out of the zone pitches as he did. And number 3, he has the right combo of bat speed and bat to ball skill. StatCast introduced bat speed data for the first time in 2024, so we can really break down Nootbaar's swing. Nootbaar's bat speed is good. His 2024 average swing speed was 72.6 miles per hour, more than 1 mile per hour better than the major league average of 71.5. But what really stands out is his ability to use that bat speed to put the barrel of the bat to the baseball.
Can you give those numbers of the highest blast rate per swing?
Sure.
To people on that list?
Yes. The blast rate ones, that was number 1.
That was number 3.
Number 3. Yes.
Highest rate, right combo,
so
bat speed and ball to bat skill.
Nootbaar was tied.
What number was he?
Was number 8.
Who is that on the list that he's tied with?
Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, my God. Can you read some of the names in front of him?
Number 1, Juan Soto.
Hall of Famer.
Number 2, Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Superstar.
Number 3, Yandy Diaz.
All right, keep going.
I was wondering where you're going to go with Yandy Diaz, who's a good player, but certainly not Juan Soto or Vlad. Giancarlo Stanton.
Another all-star.
Yordan Alvarez.
He's a really good star.
Aaron Judge.
Hall of Famer.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Superstar.
Lars Nootbaar.
Wow.
Shohei Ohtani. And Gunnar Henderson.
So all you're saying is he got to stay healthy. We have been wrong this entire time. This is the one. We've been looking for a damn star, and it's Lars Nootbaar.
It's Lars.
We are blinded.
Mm-hmm. By the light.
By the light.
By the StatCast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
This
is why
Go ahead. Here's the thing, CD. Does any of this matter if the guy can't stay healthy?
No.
Does any of it matter if he doesn't play more than how many games he played last year?
I think 100.
Not enough.
8.
108.
I believe it was what it was.
I would have said 88.
Let's see.
Who am I kidding? I probably would have said 69.
You probably would have.
Cheap joke.
He played 109 games last
109,
year.
you shorted him 1.
I did.
My question is this.
He hasn't played more than 117 in the season.
Wow.
You're leaving a lot of games out there, Anthony.
All this is great. All of it, it's the numbers. They're irrefutable. If you really appreciate the analytics of the game, you appreciate the StatCast numbers, you got to appreciate the names that we threw out there, and that plate discipline. He's in the same group as Andrew McCutchen, Dylan Moore, J.P. Crawford, and Juan Soto. This is all fantastic. Let's state the obvious. It is completely irrelevant if he's not available.
It doesn't matter.
He's a part-time player, essentially, at 109 games. Mm-hmm. Especially if most of those in the second half don't matter.
The names on that list give me, come on. He should be a $250, $300 million player. At
least for that statistic.
The blast rate.
If you're telling me that this is who he is when he's healthy, he doesn't chase balls out of the strike zone, and when he does hit them, he puts good contact on them to the tune of some of the best players in the game. Well, Lars, buddy, you're doing yourself a disservice if you can't stay healthy. If this is what people look out StatCast, I would have never. You could have read that a full season of blank look out StatCast. I would have never thought that it would be these numbers would be for him.
Yeah,
which is why I don't really lean into numbers too much, because the only number I care about is how many games you're going to play. You going to be there?
Me?
Well, I know you won't be there, Anthony. You don't even want to go to the games.
What? I want to go.
Even if it's free food.
Oh, I want to go. I want to go to see good baseball, though. I'm not going to give my money to
you ain't gonna
people that don't care about me.
So you ain't going?
No.
Okay, that's what I said. You ain't going to be there.
All right, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know if Lars is either. I don't know. I haven't seen it. I need to see it.
Somebody said, I think it was MD 2020, said, straight up, Lars Nootbaar for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Who says
makes
no?
Sense.
Who says no?
Toronto. No. By the way, Toronto just signed Max Scherzer.
Wow.
St. Louis's own Max Scherzer.
I don't think Marshy was too impressed by that.
Yeah, I'm. You know.
He gave you the
Say
wow.
Say it.
I just.
No,
don't,
say
Marsh, will he be a factor?
Say what you're going to say. What you're going to say.
Maybe it's time to move on from,
Max?
Yeah.
Oh, thought you were saying Newt.
You still found a way to say that somewhat nice. Look at you.
What does he say? What does he feel about Max Scherzer?
Yeah, he's done.
Oh.
I don't need that whole circus again.
Yeah.
We saw what happened the past couple of years. Mm-hmm. Doesn't take anything away from his career.
No, not one bit. Not one bit. Waterboy is absolutely correct, too, building off of what CD was saying. You will catch Anthony in Section 305 at the Busch. Absolutely. Yeah. I will be at Section 305 when Marsh... and us are going to build
we are building it.
A bar?
We had a...
I'm thinking so, like a bar, restaurant.
Sure.
We got a couple of investors already. A couple people said, $3.05. I think if we go about it,
it was $3.05 million.
No, it was $3.05.
It will be if all of our listeners give us $3.05.
Yes, we crowdsource this thing.
Yeah,
we go about it the right way, Marshy, and then they get something for being a part, owner, initial investor.
Yeah. Well, right? They certainly get their money back.
We'll make a brick and put their name on it. They'll get their name on a brick, Anthony.
Yeah, get their name on a brick. Yeah. Original investors. That's right. Yeah. Okay, so we're all in agreement here. Lars Nootbaar's got to stay healthy, then he's a god, a baseball god?
I would love to see it.
Okay. All right. Isn't this the case with Lars?
Can we do something?
Sure.
Over under 120 games.
Under.
Okay, maybe that number was too high. Seeing as he's never done that before.
Well, no,
over under 110 games. Because he's done that. How many times? Where'd it go?
Yeah, how many times?
Let's see. I think he's done it twice. He had 117 last year. No, 109 last year.
Right.
117 2 years ago. 108 in 2022.
Give me the under.
Under 110 games?
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony. It's a lot of games you're missing.
Prove it. It's a show me state. Prove it.
By the way, back to what we were talking about earlier about being investors, the line is investors, possibly you.
It is possibly. Okay, good. That's good. All right. Yeah, okay. I think we covered a lot of ground here. A lot of ground. You good, Carey?
Yeah, I'm reading texts. One of my favorite things to do during the show.
What about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Over or under 110 games?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to believe in Lars this year. 125.
No, stop it. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line.
If he gets hurt in spring training, it's off.
No, it's not.
It is.
Nope.
It is.
Starts
Lars,
at spring training.
Counting on you, buddy.
All right, our Air Comfort Service text line again, 314-399-9646. Part 1 of our Sports Six Pack is next.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tonight on 101 ESPN, you can listen to the Grizzlies take on the Rockets. Pregame starts at 8. Tip-off is at 8:30. Tomorrow we'll have the Blues taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do the six-pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time for the Sports Six-Pack.
Thank you. That's what I said during the break.
314-399-9646.
Something like that.
Is the Air Comfort Service text line. Marsh, what do we got for question 1, please?
Question number 1.
All right, from the 636, and we talked about this earlier in the show, Albert Pujols being a manager and what we'd like to see out of that. From the 636, if Molina and Pujols both come available at the same time and you have to miss out on one, Which one?
This is an easy one for me. It's Yachty. And not that I don't want Yachty's expertise and all that. I don't know if Yachty...
You'd rather have Albert than Yachty?
Yeah. For a manager?
I'd go the opposite direction.
I would, again, this is a tough one. But I feel like Albert would be more in for the grind the entire way.
You don't think Yachty would be if he's the manager?
I don't know.
Can we get both? Can Yachty be the pitching coach?
Yeah. Yes, but that's cheating right now.
Why?
Because it wasn't the question. It was you had to
It's a
pass on.
hypothetical question. You can hypothetically change it to fit the narrative that you want it to fit.
Then why didn't you go first?
You started talking.
Well, I didn't know.
I would say Yachty.
Okay. You would take Yachty and you pass on the greatest hitter known to man.
Well, that when you put it that way, Anthony.
You can come right back and say that one of the greatest catchers.
There
of all
you go.
time. Yeah. Marsh?
Question two?
No, you break the tie.
I want you to tie.
Yeah, you kidding me?
Right.
Nah, you break the tie.
No, you break that tie. And you break it now.
I think I am choosing Albert to be the manager.
Thank you.
That's a tough one, though.
Damn it, Marshy. Thought you were on my team. It's because I didn't know it was a six-pack, huh?
No, I think Anthony highlighted some things, maybe some questions that we've had in the past. But that doesn't take anything away from what I think Yachty could be as manager.
Right. Like,
it's a tough one. It's like,
hey, Yachty, we want you to be a catching consultant.
It's a real
and he's like, all
Stalter's
right,
choice.
cool. Don't you dare. And then he's like, yeah, I'll be there.
Did he say that? Did we ever hear him say that? Did we hear him?
I don't know what to believe these
Did we
days.
hear him say it?
We haven't.
So you don't know if it was said then? It was told to you by someone else. Do you trust that someone else completely?
That is true. We talked about telephone. Remember the game telephone?
You know?
You ever played that game?
You played,
Of course.
You played telephone
It's a
before.
dangerous game.
It gets to the end, you got a completely different statement that you started with.
Right.
You know?
Gets real dangerous to play telephone.
What?
Yeah.
What telephone game are you playing?
Go ahead, Marsh.
All right. I did already click it.
you
So
did.
yeah,
All right.
no, we're good. From the 618, earlier today on TMA, a question was asked wondering what the host's favorite St. Louis sports moment of the 21st century was. This got me curious, as you guys are brothers in broadcasting. What is your favorite St. Louis sports broadcasting call of the 21st century?
First of all, CD and I are brothers, period. Second of all, great question.
Wait,
the 21st century would be 2000s?
Because I was going to say the 99 Rams, and clearly that just...
Yeah, they did play the 2000 Super Bowl.
Oh, I got it. That's it. Yeah.
But
Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Who was on the call for that? Was the ABC game.
Yeah, that would have been Al Michaels. And the Rams have won the Super Bowl.
Oh, I was thinking of this question as like local broadcasters.
Well, to me, it's one of Marshy's Maryville calls.
It's top tier. Yeah.
So that's one.
If you're not checking out, check it out. Check it out because Marshy, you do a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Number two, and this is just because CD doesn't do play-by-play, but one of Carey's Illinois calls from this year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the Pat Bryant game-winning touchdown catch versus Rutgers is a good one. If you haven't listened, go back and take a listen. Yeah.
Timeout.
Man, that was a terrible decision.
All right. Okay. So, are we doing like an actual call? Like It's got to be a call.
Yeah, and then you got to recreate it.
Oh, wow.
That's what the texter said.
Okay. Well, I did the Al Michaels. Not very well, but the best call is, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And I think I did that.
You did it well.
Too much.
You actually, right when you said it, 812 texted the same thing.
And we will see you tomorrow night. Got to be that one.
That was a good one.
Very good one.
What about how about that, big boy?
Yeah.
Pujols, home run in Chicago.
That's a good one, yeah. Is that your favorite?
It's up there.
Okay.
It's up there.
Probably not. Ishikawa to right.
No, definitely not that one. Definitely not that one. Oh, boy.
What about Boom Gunnarsson?
That's a good one. It's a good one.
We've talked to Kerbs about that, and Kerbs actually doesn't. He doesn't like that call.
Really?
Yeah. It's iconic, man. Mm-hmm. Boom Gunnarsson. I think even though the obviously the Game 7 call that we hear, that we play a lot here on 101, that one from Kerb stands out more. Mm-hmm. The boom Gunnarsson.
I don't remember the call, but Yachty's home run versus the Mets.
2006 NLCS.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to hear it, but I think it was good.
G-Dog's got a great one too. And this is definitely G-Dog from the Snake Pit. And this was in this era that we're talking about. And boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah. I don't know if that was in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah,
that's
right.
Indiana.
Yeah.
It was in the Midwest, though.
Passes to the man.
He was waiting on that so long. I feel bad. And boom, goes the dynamite.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember
the whole
that.
call?
Oh, yeah. That was in like an era where like the YouTube videos were just popping off. You had the kid that, dressed like a zombie and said, "I like turtles." You ever see that?
No.
You didn't see that?
No.
I like turtles. They're like, oh.
Do you ever see have you ever seen the Netflix documentary about the hitchhiker? The one that said
Forrest Gump?
Smash? No, not Forrest Gump. Smash.
I've never seen that one.
It's interesting. You ever heard that one?
Nah.
Yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
Let's just say a hitchhiker who everybody thought initially was a hero may not have been a hero.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You got one from the 314.
Oh, no, you go.
The wait is over.
Yeah, that's what
that would, yeah.
Anthony was referencing.
I think it's a great call, but to me, for some reason, I like the boom Gunnarsson.
There's another one. It was during Pujols' run, and Danny Mac had a call that was like, it was a pinch hit home run against the Cubs, which would have been his final at bat against Chicago. Mm-hmm. And he was like, they pitch to him and they get burned. It was awesome.
Danny Mac's call of Splashback Twos. Having the time of his life.
That's Sergio Dip.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Vance Joseph is having.
I love how we went from St. Louis calls to most embarrassing calls like in ever.
Right. Danny Mac had a great call, too, on Holiday's home run.
The final one. Yeah.
Danny Mac's call on the Holiday home run was special.
And when Rick Ankiel came back.
Yes.
That was also a cool one.
Danny Mac hit so many of those. All right. Part 2 of the Sports Six Pack is next. If you got a question, 314. Great question, by the way. Whoever that was. Is that 314?
618.
618. Great question. 314-399-9646 to the Air Comfort Service text line. Part 2 of our Sports Six Pack is next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Gary Davis, Anthony Stalter. Here's Andrew Marsh.
Question number 3.
All right, from the 314, of all the new NFL head coaches, who will have the best record next year?
So just next year.
Who?
I'll go with...
It ain't. I can tell you. It ain't Duval.
Oh, man.
That was bad.
I'll go with him.
Will you?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Easiest.
Why?
Easiest division.
The best record next year?
Yeah.
He had a weird press conference, and I know you say, hey, win the press conference, but that doesn't necessarily mean a lot. But I saw a video today of him.
No, I say don't worry about winning the press conference.
Right. Like, it doesn't mean all that much.
Unfortunately, that was tough to shake, though.
That was bad.
It was. It was super weird. There's another video of him, though, like, meeting with players and stuff and, like, being very, just, I'll call him cool.
Okay.
He was cool.
Yeah.
And it seemed like all the players
not
liked him.
Half bad.
Do you like Liam Cohen?
No, I don't. No, I like the AFC South being toilet water.
Part of me, it's a tough conference,
like
tough division.
The one you'd like would be Ben Johnson and the Bears. Caleb, hey, he's got the quarterback. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, he's also in the same damn division as the Lions, Vikings, and Packers. You're going there?
Yep. Lions take a step back. Both coordinators leave. Jamie, sorry, you're not here to hear it. Vikings, sorry, they take a step back as well.
Why is that? They have like $70 million in cap space. And
who's playing quarterback?
J.J. McCarthy.
Kirky's
My point exactly.
You mean the guy that won the national championship last year?
2 years ago.
No, it was last year.
He ain't no Kyle McCord.
He is not.
He's better.
Seeing what he's done throwing the ball.
Yep.
For Ohio State and Syracuse.
I'm just saying, if you can get Sam Darnold to win as many games as they did this season, I feel like you could do that with J.J. McCarthy. And I'm assuming, because of how he did in college, maybe he'll have a year, a Jaden Daniels-esque year.
Sam Darnold has seen so much. He's even seen ghosts on the damn field.
It's crazy. There was only one person that I thought could see the ghost.
Yeah, he's seen everything. Casper.
Yeah,
Casper was a ghost.
No.
Oh, the one that said
this kid. There was a documentary about this kid. He had some issues, special issues, but issues nonetheless. Saw the guy from Die Hard.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I'm gonna go with Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marsh and I are going with Duval. That was so weird.
The way he did.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Like
Duval.
Somebody he said it wrong, man. It's Duval. That's how you say it.
I'm more of a here we go kind of guy, Yeah. But they're not changing coaches anymore.
What's worse though? Duval or Jim Tom Sula.
What did he say?
Oh, that was the worst.
Remember that one?
Well, first of all, he farted in a.
Did he?
Yes.
in an
interview.
Wow.
Yeah.
He farted?
Yes. There is audio.
Wow.
Yeah. What kind of fart?
It's not worse than Adam Gase. And his eyes about to pop out his damn head.
Yeah, that was.
I think he was high. He was high when he did that.
Man.
Like, are your eyes normally this big? Yeah. I'm ready.
All right, Marsh. One more real quick, then we got Curbs.
Question number 4.
All right, so we just talked about Newt not too long ago. From the 217, if Newt has a good year, do you trade him while his stock is high? It's hard to believe he will stay healthy year after year.
Obviously, it depends on what we're getting back, but Carey, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Yeah. It's time for the Cardinals to start trading guys at their highest value.
Well, that doesn't make sense, Anthony.
Well, I sent you all a text during one of the breaks, and you all laughed at me.
What? We laughed.
You all laughed at me when I said should have traded Ryan Helsley last year. And clearly, the Cardinals had a guy on the roster.
And who was that guy?
This guy has been talked to about closing for some teams right now.
Is he?
Yep. Oh, Lance Lynn could have been your closer. He's already here.
Missed opportunity. Yeah, missed opportunity to say the least. Uh-huh. All right, we'll get Kerbs on next. He just landed in Denver where the Blues will take on the Avalanche tomorrow night. And we'll talk to Kerbs about all things Blues here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, Chris Kerber with you here from out in Denver. We get ready for another road trip. But look, I'm here to talk to you about Classic Air Care. When you want to make sure that your house is comfortable, you want to make sure that when you come in the winter, it's warm to the temperature you want. When you come in the spring or the summer, it's cold to the temperature that you want. And the way you do that is you maintain that HVAC unit. Make sure that it's cleaned out inside. Make sure that it's cleaned out outside the house. And Classic Air Care are the folks to do it. They know that you have a choice when it comes to maintaining one of the most important pieces of equipment in your home. And when it comes to the quality of service that they provide, they make sure that it is top-notch and customer satisfaction all the way through because you have that choice. And with that choice, they want you to choose them. It's Classic Air Care. They take care of my home. They'll take care of yours. If you haven't had your unit maintained in a while, call them up. It's cheap. They'll come out. They'll take care of it. They'll make sure that everything is in good shape. This is an important piece of equipment. Could also be a dangerous one if it's not maintained. So get a hold of Classic Air Care. They've got a 4.8 Google rating. You can click on the website at classicaircare.com to find out all the great reviews they're getting and see what your own neighbors are saying about them, and then have them over to make sure that your house is comfortable and your unit is running well. It's Classic Air Care. Book an appointment online at classicaircare.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 501. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Let's head to the Callier and Thompson phone line where a guy, Chris Kerber, just landed in Denver, Colorado. Kerbs, how you doing today?
Anthony, doing great. How are you guys?
We're doing good. We appreciate the time. We know that you're busy with the boys today, so again, we appreciate it. So, Kerbs, the first time we had an opportunity to talk to you about Brandon Saad placed on unconditional waivers. Do you think that? Well, let's start here. When you think of Brandon Saad's tenure here with the Blues, how would you kind of quantify that? Like, do you think that the Blues, still saw enough of their money throughout his contract, or would you say that the overall deal kind of fell flat?
Well, I think if you're being very honest about it, you have to say the overall deal kind of fell flat. And that's primarily because look at how it ended. I mean, It ended a year and a half early. It ended with basically an unconditional buyout, And look, I mean, 26 goals is 26 goals last year. He was a 20-goal scorer pretty much for the Blues every year, and that's nothing to shake a stick at. So, if you're talking about somebody scoring 20 goals a season and a salary of $4.5 million on average, you're getting it. Now, you're getting fair value. But the reality of it is I just don't know if it was as impactful as it could have been. He's a very good support piece, but was not a key cog in the wheel, or at least did not play in that way, right?
Right.
And that's, frankly, it's one of the reasons the Blues are in the situation that they're in right now. Is because of not just him, but there are others that fit in that boat. So this year, when you're talking about a guy with his ability that only has goals in 3 games, if you're a coach and you saw this with Drew Bannister, you're going to play a guy, you're going to play experience if you want to win, right? I mean, look, I say this all the time in sports. Youth rarely wins, right? Unless you've got some real good veterans around them, right? And so, kind of the way you got to look at it is I don't think it ended, in a great way, for either side, other than the Blues wanted to make a change, and Doug Armstrong knew that, okay, if I don't move him out, coaches are going to keep playing him, and I want to see what Texier can do.
Sure.
And so, I mean, that part is kind of what it is, and I kind of like the way this worked out for him. One, it works out great for the Blues because if you terminate the contract, I think it's another loophole in the salary cap, to be honest with you. But if you terminate the contract, you're off the hook for it. So that is some great news, especially for next year for the St. Louis Blues. And then, Brandon Saad, this is a guy that's made $50 million in his career at this point in time. He gets a chance to stay in the National Hockey League and maybe sign somewhere for less and still play in the NHL. So I think it'll work out for both.
Carson, one of the players that you talked about, Texier, is the one that's going to is benefiting from that. What does he bring to this team? He's only played in 24 games this season. What can he add? What value can he add to this team that has been struggling over the last 5 games?
Well, your guess is as good as anybody's, Carey. I mean, honestly, it hasn't been consistent. There was that stretch of a few games, since Jim Montgomery took over, where he kind of earned his way into some top 6 minutes. I think that's positive. Look, he's got a terrific attitude. He's an extremely coachable young man. He has the skill to be an elite player in the league. Does he have the ability to put it together consistently, night in, night out? Well, we've seen that a good chunk of this hockey team doesn't, right? And that makes it even harder. So I think Doug Armstrong was nails when he said, with kind of the lack of consistency from some of the top end productive players you're expecting, it's made it a little more difficult for some of these other players to really find their role. And I think you got to put Texier in there. Now, here's the reality, Kerry. He's got a chance now. They're giving him a chance. There's going to be one forward coming out on a regular basis to back-to-back games. You expect it to be Sundqvist. So who ends up coming out? I don't know. And unfortunately, I think sometimes it's going to end up being Walker. And that drives me batty because I love what he brings every night. Okay. But at the same time, Alexander's got to earn his way into that lineup and then keep a hold of it and take advantage of that opportunity. I mean, young players always ask about opportunity. Well, the key is you've got to be able to take advantage of it when it comes to you, and this is now the opportunity he's faced with.
Chris Kerber joins us here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerbs, where do you think? Look, I know you don't want you to. I don't want you to speak for Doug Armstrong. I know you don't want to do that either. But if you were to step into his shoes right now, because you hear him talk about he needs to observe, he needs to evaluate, and he needs to do so from his spot, knowing that he's not in the locker room every single day like the coaches and the players are. But from your standpoint, you trade Scott Perunovich, Brandon Saad on unconditional waivers. What do you think that Army wants to see from here on out, so from here until the rest of the season?
Well, he wants to see compete. I mean, that's what he wants to see compete. Now, is it going to be a little too late? Who knows? 30 games to go. We'll find out. Okay. Or is it going to be enough? You've got a 2-week break, between now and the March 7th trade deadline. I think reality is kind of set in. There's got to be either a quick run here, or Doug Armstrong decides to continue to shape the roster here. I think what he's looking for is just competing, and he's looking for the intangibles. Look, you have a coach now, right? It's not like you're going into the second half of the season wondering, what's going to happen with this coach, that kind of thing. You have a coach, and you committed to him to another 4 years after this one, right? You have a coach where you trust what he's saying. So these players have to just – honestly, it's just show up and compete consistently on a nightly basis and find some strides here. So I honestly, that's what I think he's looking for. What I think he's hoping for is somehow you put a push together and find a way into the playoffs, but beyond that, this isn't the year, we'll get in and anything can happen, especially I believe with our goaltender. But the reality of it is you've got a wave of talent that's still developing, and you're trying to stay competitive while that talent is looming on the outside trying to work its way in, and that's where the Blues are at. And that's okay. By the way, real quick here, look, I think Blues fans have been very realistic. Blues fans have always been honest fans with what they're seeing, right? And I think when you look at what the Blues decided, whether you can argue 2.5 years ago whether you should have kept a couple people, right, and maybe not rip the Band-Aid off into a retool. That's up for debate, and that's a fun debate to have. But the organization decided to make a directional change. They're making it. They've been very honest and upfront with their assessments all the way through, and this is only the second full year of that process. So where they're at right now, just on the outside looking in and knocking on the door again, okay. I don't know that it's that bad of a spot.
Curbs, we had Jim Montgomery on yesterday, and he talked about the bad habits that this team has. With 31 games left, I tell people it's easier to fix habits when you're younger, but when you've been doing this for a while and you've created some bad habits and have had these bad habits for a couple of years now, do you think it's going to be possible for them to figure this out before this season ends with the bad habits that he's talking about?
It's going to take something to turn around really fast for that to happen, don't you think, Carey?
I would agree.
I mean, I think those bad habits flush themselves out when you start to win consistently, and there were a couple of moments where you'd see them win 4 out of 5, or they'd get the 2 in a row, trying to make it 3. The back-to-back games against Calgary, and they just couldn't get the momentum to the next step. That to me has been a mental block here for this team now for a couple of years now. The thing that is a winning culture is a fragile culture. It can be a strong one. But if you don't bring players in that help support it, if you don't have players that are committed to it, I know everybody in St. Louis got tired of hearing kind of like the Cardinal way and things like that. But, guys, that Cardinal way was you're coming in with expectations, right? Mm-hmm. Players coming in knew what the demand and the expectations were. It wasn't a brag. It wasn't – it was literally the expectation of winning, okay? And you can see what happens when all of a sudden that gets shattered a little bit. Losing can creep in fast, and losing leads to some of those bad habits. Okay, then, and it's not a lack of care, guys. It's a guy on the ice trying to do that little extra thing. I'm going to try and thread this through for this great goal. Bam! It's deflected the other way, and the puck comes through. It's not trusting the process yet, and that part takes time. And that's Jim Montgomery's biggest challenge is breaking through that aspect of things to get that consistency in there. Do I think it's going to come? I absolutely do. Do I think he got the right coach that can make this happen? I absolutely do. Is it going to come within the next 30 games? I have no idea.
Sure. Curbs, we appreciate the time. Yeah. Hey, if you knew that, you could share that information with us, and then we'd have a good idea with it, too. So, not much.
We'd be going to Vegas with a couple of wives.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, absolutely, Curbs. We appreciate it. Have a great call tomorrow night, and we'll hear you on these airwaves again tomorrow night as the Blues take on the Avalanche in Denver.
All right, fellas. Have an awesome week. We'll see you when we get back home.
You too. Thanks, Curbs. We'll see you. Yep. Chris Kerber, the play-by-play man of your St. Louis Blues, right here on your home of the Blues, 101 ESPN. All right, Carey. You ready?
Sure.
Okay. Because we're going to talk about the Cardinals farm system.
Oh, yay.
It's all about player development.
Oh, yeah.
That's the new approach. You got to develop the players. Cardinals have the players in the farm system? That's next. That's next on 101 ESPN. New year, new keys sales event going on right now at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. The dealership is great, man. It's not brand new now, but it just opened up within the last year. It's right off I-55 and McNutt, just, minutes from South County. Perfect location. And when I say they have over 700 new and used vehicles there, that's exactly what they have. You can peruse what they have online at autocentersnissan.com. But when you go down there, you can really feel the sales environment and how fun it is, non-pushy. They do a great job of exploring all your different wants and needs when it comes to your vehicle. And they also have great deals going on. Like I said, it's the New Year, new key sales event. They've got new Nissans discounted up to $11,000 off. Several brand new models priced under $30K. Zero down and no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles. No payments for 6 months on select new Nissans right now. Plus great low financing rates like 0% APR for 60 months on select new Nissan models. Whether you are in the market for a brand new Nissan or a pre-owned vehicle, one location to find both. It's Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. Davis and Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Don't forget, tomorrow is Freedom Friday here in the Fast Lane. Every final Friday of the month, we throw it out to you, the listener. So bring the heat tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. Show is completely dedicated to your topics. So if there's something that we haven't been talking about, haven't been talking about enough, things that you always wanted us to kind of expound on more, completely up to you. So it's up to CD and I to study everything in the world.
Ever
in the history of sports and otherwise.
Yeah.
And then it's up to you to deliver those fantastic topics tomorrow for Freedom Friday. All right, CD. I don't know if you've been listening to the Cardinals of late and what they've been discussing when it comes to developing. We're going to develop our youngsters. I don't know when that starts, though. Do you?
It starts today.
Oh, it starts today. All right.
The moment you say it is when it started. So what did they say it the first time? First time they said it, Anthony. They told you they were going to build
this offseason.
There you go.
Yeah.
Told you you're going to build a facility.
Yep.
That facility is going to house the necessary tools to compete at a level that's going to allow you to win championships. But everything starts, down in the minors where you develop those players.
Definitely. Yeah.
Pitching machine, concessions, good nutrition.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. Spin bike. Sure. Yeah.
Question for you, CD.
Go ahead.
Do you need the players to develop them?
Or you need players. You got to have people.
Yeah.
You got to have people to develop.
Sure.
Yeah, you
like
got to have
average players.
You got to have bodies. You got to have human beings.
So just bodies.
Yeah, people.
Oh, okay, then you're good.
Anthony, you can develop anybody.
Yeah.
Right? You can go. Well, anybody can be developed from where they started to where they end up. That's development.
Sure.
Depends on now how you trying to develop to be major league players.
Yeah.
Well, you might. Okay.
Because Keith Law has the Cardinals in Tier 3. Tier 3. I know Keith Law, everybody's favorite here in St. Louis.
They love him.
Tier 3 for his farm system rankings. You may wonder where Tier 3 is. Well, for the Cardinals, it's 14th.
Okay.
Is that terrible?
That's middle.
Yeah. This is top 15.
Yeah.
Right there at 14. He says the Cardinals have. So, okay. Pause on that. 14. Say, all right, Tier 3, not great. But then you realize there's like 7 tiers. It's kind of like Marsh's St. Louis sports stars.
Yeah.
There's like 8 tiers to that.
Okay.
So you're like, okay. Then when you read Keith Law and what he has to write, if he is correct in this, in his assessment, this is the number one thing that just drives me up the wall about the Cardinals. Here we go. The Cardinals have a lot of untapped potential in their system beyond their top 5. And perhaps Rob Cifolio, newly hired from the Guardians to run player development, can help some of the prospects here who have plateaued get back on track. Great. No issue with that first sentence. We're good. Right now, it's a big pile of prospects who will get to the majors, but maybe not as impact players. 5th starters and middle relievers and backups. Yet some of them at least have the tools or skills to be something more. The talent here probably outstrips the production you see on the stat sheets.
Keith Law is a tool.
There you go. Thank you, Janet. If I were to read this paragraph, save for the Rob Cifolio part, if I read that today or 3 years ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, that I think would describe the Cardinals farm system. A bunch of guys probably make the majors. Oh, awesome. Are they starters? Some of them. Oh, we're talking about front-end guys? Probably more like 4s and 5s, but they're going to be there.
So now,
there always seems to be this cap with the farm system. Now, Keith Law might be wrong. I don't know. But this is what drives me crazy.
You know talent when you see it.
Right.
So here's my thing. Your job as a coach, as a talent evaluator, as someone that is developing players, is to get each player to reach their full potential, to reach the maximum Like, whatever their ceiling is, that's what you are supposed to get them to be.
Yeah.
With that being said, if you draft guys with higher ceilings that may not quite be there just yet, the upside is greater. It's far greater. I'm kind of torn, though, because you do need guys that are going to be professional, because every team that drafts players isn't going to have as many people that make it to the major leagues, right?
Yep.
They're going to miss on some guys.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying and what I think your frustration is, the Cardinals are very safe in their scouting, in their developing, and in their drafting. Mm-hmm. They're very safe.
Yeah.
They don't want to do the high risk, high reward. It's like, some people, when they do things in the stock market, they aren't high risk people.
Right.
Give me a low risk, nice return, not going to lose any money. Mm-hmm. Then you got some people somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Then you got people that say, hey, put it all out there, baby. If it returns big, I'm winning.
Right.
Now, if I lose, I'm being a poorhouse, but they'll worry about that later.
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals are in the middle, to the lower end, I think.
Yes.
And that's what frustrates you the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but the way you illustrated that with the stocks, you're absolutely right. Yeah. There's that, you got that buddy that's like, hey, I'll take the small profits. I might lose a little bit, but we're gonna be just fine. Ain't gonna get rich off it, but
right.
Over time I won't go broke. Yeah, that is the Cardinals' philosophy on this. What is the one thing that has been missing though since Albert Pujols?
A star.
It's that star,
superstar.
You have, and I credit the Cardinals for taking more risk of late. Jordan Walker was more of a risk. Young player, high school. That was not the Cardinals' MO 10 years ago at all. So I do think that there's been more risk of late. But there hasn't been enough. There hasn't been enough. Let's go for the fences here because we may land on a superstar as opposed to, you know what? Ground ball pitcher. Ground ball pitcher.
You don't like that?
He's a 4, 5. If not, he'll be a reliever. He'll be fine. And that's how you wind up with your Dakota Hudsons, I forgot the other guy's name. No, not Zach Thompson. Who's the other guy? Dakota Hudson. The two of them were always together. Dakota Hudson and Jake Woodford.
Oh.
That's how you wind up with those guys. Safe, fine, got to the big leagues, didn't make much of an impact. They went on, and they're fine. So when I read that paragraph, this is where I think if the Cardinals don't change, and maybe they will under Bloom, I hope they do. If the Cardinals don't change the risk-averse nature that they have, I don't think much changes. I have hopes, though, that Bloom will get in and he'll know what he's doing. We'll see in a year. We'll see you tomorrow night. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. By the way, Splashback Deuce has our first Freedom Friday question for tomorrow. Something to think about. Does Brandon Saad's contract still carry the cap hit? He's hilarious. All right. I stumbled upon an Athletic article this morning that talked about the what-ifs in the NFL this year. So what if Saquon Barkley stayed with the Giants instead of going to the Eagles? What would the end of the year look like? In this case, under the Athletic, they said that the Giants would have won only one more game than they did, 3-4, and the Eagles would have one fewer loss, or one fewer win, and that's it. So my question to you, CD, is do you think that is accurate? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We did talk with voice of the Blues right here on the Blues Radio Network, Chris Kerber, about Brandon Saad and sort of the impact of the Blues parting ways with Brandon Saad. Once again, if you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the 101 ESPN mobile app. We have the Blues taking on the Colorado Avalanche tomorrow right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. But before tomorrow's game, tonight we have NBA action. The Grizzlies go up against the Rockets. Pregame starts at 8 o'clock tonight. Tip-off is at 8:30. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. The Athletic did a fun experiment in which they talked about certain scenarios that if they were to have occurred before the 2024 season, how would that have reshaped the year? For example, what if Saquon Barkley stayed with the Giants and never joined the Eagles? The Giants' record this season was 3-14. The Eagles 14-3. The alternate universe record, if Saquon stayed with the Giants would have been 4-13. Eagles 13-4. How off do you think they are?
Very.
Which side?
The Eagles.
Not the Giants, though.
No.
What does that say about the Giants' decision to move forward then?
That is probably a good decision for them.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
that's where I was kind of heading, and I was wondering if you were going to go that route.
If they are, well, it's about the pieces around them. And if you weren't able to get a quarterback in the draft, if they would have traded up and got Jaden Daniels and made that decision and moved on from Daniel Jones much earlier than they finally did, obviously you don't get Malik Neighbors if you get Jaden Daniels, but you get a quarterback. Mm-hmm. They needed more pieces to help Saquon, so letting him go was not a terrible decision. The terrible decision, in hindsight, for them seems to be paying Daniel Jones the money that they paid him when he wasn't at that level that they needed him to be successful.
I think you remove hindsight, too.
Okay. I was being polite.
You were.
I was trying to.
You liked the Giants.
I did. I didn't like them after I saw what they did this season. I liked them in the preseason. Man, that Hard Knocks was great. They won.
Damn editors.
Those damn editors.
Got me again.
The music,
the
vibe, the way they cut in and out. I was like, ooh, this is going to be a good year. Had me believing.
Damn Saquon. They don't need him.
Yeah. Saquon goes and rushes for 2,000 yards, and you're like, they could have used him. That was a dumbass decision.
Damn, he's good. Who knew?
But yeah, I think the Eagles definitely aren't in the position that they're in right now.
I don't think they're a Super Bowl team.
No, because he has led that team. He has done a fantastic job. Running the ball has been the thing that they've hung their hat on all season long. So for them to think that it would just be one less win without Saquon, who the hell's running the football?
Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, I think Kenneth Gainwell is a really good player. He ain't Saquon. And ain't many people, and that's no knock against Kenneth, but ain't many people Saquon Barkley. So I don't
think they're 13-4.
They might not even be double-digit wins.
I think they win 10 games.
Really?
So what does that say then about the rest of the guys? I think they still have a great defense.
You know what it says, Anthony? First-round running backs really do matter.
Oh, come on. This first-round running back.
Yeah, I think all of them. You get your running back in the first round, he's a difference maker.
There has been more first-round running backs that have hit over the last 5 or so years.
More than third, fourth, or fifth round guys.
Well, okay. For every Saquon, there's also what's his?
You don't even know who he is.
Trent Richardson. For every Saquon, there's a Trent Richardson.
No.
He was top 10. Come on. Come on.
Saquon was top 10 too.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And then you've got Isaiah Pacheco, who was drafted in the 7th. The Chiefs also took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was a first rounder.
He has some.
We can go back. We can go back.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire has some other things going on that has prevented him from
this year, but I don't think he was on. I think Isaiah Pacheco had surpassed him well ahead of this year, obviously. Stop it! Don't you play the narrative game with me? Don't you throw that narrative in my face? Here's an easy one. Or one that I agree with, and I think, Carey, you will too. What if the Bengals provided Joe Burrow with a league average defense? Their record, 9-8. Guess what their record would be if they just provided him with a league average defense?
They probably are 9-8. They win 4 more games at least.
They got them at 12-5, so they're kind of in the same ballpark. Yeah. Chris Canty probably disagrees, but Chris Canty's a fool.
Joe Burrow is probably your NFL MVP.
This one's interesting. What if Rashee Rice never got injured? Chiefs 15-2.
Same record?
16-1. You think Rice is worth a full win?
They probably are. Yeah.
Do they beat? So it really comes down to they beat Buffalo?
Game? Yeah.
Because the Denver game at the end,
and they probably play that game too, with an opportunity to be undefeated.
Ah, that's interesting.
I would.
So you think they win the Buffalo game? I think
Rashee Rice is important.
I do too, but
I think he's very important.
I think it's interesting that they got him as a full win. What if Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen switched teams? Ravens were 12-5, Bills 13-4. So if Josh Allen played for the Ravens, what do you think the Ravens' record is?
Probably, don't ask me. I don't want to answer. They probably win less games.
What do you think?
The Ravens were 12-5?
Yep.
10-7.
With Josh Allen?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say 13 wins.
12-5.
Same record?
Same record.
If Lamar goes to Buffalo?
So if Lamar goes to Buffalo, the Bills were 13-4 this year. What do you think?
13-4.
Marshy?
They're doing like a 1-for-1 swap. 13 wins.
Correct. 13-4.
Samesies.
Which makes sense. They both played at an MVP level.
Derrick Henry to the Cowboys in this?
No.
They should have put him in there.
That would be interesting.
They needed a running back.
Here's one for Marsh. What if Aaron Rodgers and Sam Darnold swapped teams?
Ooh.
So the Jets are 5-12 this year. If they had Sam Darnold, this one I couldn't disagree with more on both sides.
You think the Jets are a better team, or?
Well, they have them at what? What do you think? So the Jets went 5-12. What do you think they go with Sam Darnold this year?
I think they have him at 8-9.
I was going to say that 8-9.
8-9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think they have
That's
less
correct.
wins. No way.
No.
With Sam Darnold, they got more wins.
They got more wins.
No, I'm saying if Sam Darnold was on the Jets, they would have less win. They would have less wins.
Okay, so the Jets are 5. They went 5-12.
Or they'd win the same amount of games.
They went 5-12. They're saying 8-9 with Sam Darnold.
And I'm saying that's wrong. They would have less
I couldn't
wins.
agree more.
No way.
Without Kevin O'Connell, I don't think Sam Darnold's winning 3 more games.
No chance.
I disagree.
There's no way. Like Kevin O'Connell, in my opinion, revitalized Sam Darnold's career. Maybe.
Couldn't agree more. Vikings. You were 14-3 this year, Marsh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're 8-9
with Aaron
7-10
with Aaron Rodgers.
With Aaron Rodgers. What do you think?
7-10.
They got him at 12-5.
That's madness.
Did you watch?
This is why I don't.
Aaron this year?
Pay attention to this.
Like,
did you watch that fool play?
Aaron.
Did you watch that ayahuasca drinking?
He would have ruined that team.
No doubt.
Like, because I don't believe he likes
people.
Man in motion. Like
he doesn't want to turn his back to the defense ever.
He would
essentially throw out play action.
Yeah, and that's literally all they ran all year was just play action. They never set the run up. They just ran play action with no run set up.
He ruins the Vikings.
100%.
All right. You guys want one more?
Sure.
What if Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels were swapped in the draft? Bears went 5-12. What do you think they are with Jaden Daniels?
5-12. I think they go
9-8.
I'll say 8-9.
Marsh is correct. 8-9. Well, according to the Athletic, Marsh is correct. 8-9.
Yeah, like Jaden Daniels is good enough to get you a few more wins, but he plays for the Bears in this situation,
Right, which is
like that's the kind of cancels everything out.
as soon as he puts on that uniform, we're talking about
come on.
NFL.
Although
bad luckness.
I feel like their defense was okay. A solid defense.
And Washington's defense wasn't great, and he would have better weapons.
He would, and I think he's a better quarterback than Caleb Williams.
So it sounds like you think that they are more what?
They're 3 wins better because they're still the Bears.
Okay, all right. Commanders 12-5 with Caleb Williams. What do you think?
Probably 12-5.
No way. I think they're 7-10.
Nah, they got to win the record.
You guys can almost meet in the middle.
10-7.
10-7.
Yeah.
10-7.
No way.
Yes way.
You're not a fan of Caleb.
I'm not. I don't think he's that great.
Madness.
He almost beat you guys.
Well, almost only counts in
one good quarter.
Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah.
10-7.
Can I?
I don't think he's as he couldn't complete a pass for a while. Maybe the offensive line situation played a 90% factor into that. So I'll give him a pass on that. But
he would have had a better play caller. Cliff Kingsbury's better than the trash the Bears had.
Can I interest you in the top 6 running backs in the league? What round they were drafted in?
Sure.
5 of them were in the first round.
Okay.
1 of them was in the second round.
Ooh, let's try and guess who that second round guy was.
Derrick Henry.
No.
Was Derrick Henry?
Sorry. 2 of them were in the second round.
Derrick Henry's the second round.
2 of them were in the second round.
Okay, so where was Josh Jacobs drafted?
He was a first rounder.
Okay, so there's one. We have Saquon as the other.
First rounder.
Derrick Henry.
Second rounder.
No, he was a second rounder?
Yeah.
Okay,
so 2 of them in the second round, 4 of them first round.
So there's one more second rounder?
Well, and we got to figure out who Carey believes is the best running back.
Yeah, what are we going off of?
The top 6 running backs in rushing yards this year.
Was Gibbs part of it?
Yep.
So he's a first rounder?
Yep.
Was Bijan was?
Yep.
He's a first rounder?
Yep.
Non-playoff team?
Quarterback issue.
No question. All right, so let me think here.
Is there one guy that we're missing?
Yeah.
One more you're missing.
Is it James Conner?
No. James Conner, I think, was a 4th rounder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me think.
You want the division?
Nope. Let's see.
You're going to struggle with this one.
I don't think we are.
No.
You are?
No.
Okay.
You shut your face.
Okay,
See,
it's shut.
please shut your face.
It's shut.
Chuba Hubbard? No.
He's a 4th rounder.
Was he a 4th rounder?
Yep.
From?
What school is this guy from?
No.
Oklahoma State.
Okay.
This guy have over 1,000 yards?
Yep.
James Cook?
Nope. He's a second rounder.
Brees Hall was hurt. And Brees Hall, I think, was it Brees Hall first rounder?
Not going to get it.
Oh, we're going to get it.
Hang on. Hang on.
Don't cheat.
First rounder. No, we're not cheating.
He's a second rounder.
Second round guy.
I'm just trying to help you.
Okay, hold on here, Marsh. Come on.
Not going to get it. Have we already mentioned one of the teams?
No.
We haven't. Okay.
They didn't make the playoffs either.
Is it in Seattle? Guy in Seattle?
No. He didn't play enough games. Kenneth
That's
Walker.
fair. Yeah.
He's hurt.
It's not Kyron Williams.
No, he's a 5th rounder. Okay. They made the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, slow down there, Marcia. You're just throwing out names.
Oh, I think I got it.
Okay, we'll
and I think this
converse.
guy could have.
Let's
No, I think
converse.
this guy could have been a first rounder. Had some stuff happen at the tail end of college. Was just traded last offseason.
Just traded?
Yeah, he's on a new team now. This is his new team.
Okay, who is it?
Joe Mixon.
Nope.
Damn it!
No, he was like a third rounder. What? He had some issues.
No, he was a second rounder.
Was he?
Mm-hmm. But he's not top 5, top 6 in rushing this past
Plus, they
season.
made the playoffs.
Come on,
They made the playoffs.
I thought you said they didn't make the playoffs.
They didn't make the playoffs.
Joe Mixon made the playoffs.
Joe Mixon made the
that's
playoffs.
right.
Jacking me up, Marsh.
What am I doing?
All right, hold on here. Cowboys, no. Eagles made the playoffs. Commanders made the playoffs.
Don't you
Giants,
say anything,
no.
Snake Pit.
Let's see
Don't
here.
look up.
Okay, I won't look up. Bears, no.
Good year.
Falcons, we have Bijan. Saints, no, because Kamara is a third rounder. Plus, I don't think he rushed for 1,000.
Oh my gosh.
Bucks, Panthers.
Is it
I already
Aaron
mentioned
Jones?
Panthers.
No.
He's a 5th rounder.
Yeah, Aaron Jones is later.
But he's top 10.
49ers, no. Seahawks, no. Rams made the playoffs. Cardinals, you already mentioned Connor. Okay, let's go to the AFC, Marsh. Raiders, no. Everybody else made the playoffs there. Jaguars, Travis Etienne.
Bucky Irving.
Oh, Bucky Irving. Oh, what playoffs? Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I keep getting it confused. Darn it. We're at the end of the day.
All right, Jaguars, no.
He's a fourth
Houston
round.
made the playoffs.
It's a Monday, Anthony.
Titans, no. They don't have anybody good.
Didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah. All right, Steelers, Browns.
Najee Harris?
No, Steelers made the playoffs.
That's right. I keep doing it. I keep doing it.
Ravens,
Keep doing it.
Bills, Jets.
You're going too
Achane.
fast.
No.
You're going way too fast, Anthony.
Devon Achane didn't even play enough games. He played like 9 or 10 games. Didn't
Not
he? He was
a
hurt.
playoff team.
Brees Hall?
No. You already passed up this division, so you forgot this team.
What's the division?
Oh, Colts.
Jonathan Taylor. Oh, I would have said him a long time ago.
Jonathan Taylor.
I don't know if he's a second round.
Yeah, he was a second round. He's early second round.
Oh, man.
My point exactly. First round.
Yeah, that team stunk,
on the cusp.
though.
Yeah.
What did they miss? What did they not have?
Well, they didn't have a quarterback.
Just like the Falcons.
But they had a running back.
But you need a quarterback and a running back.
I mean, they just
How many-
drafted a quarterback.
Real quick, 'cause
running
we got to
back.
break. How many? You had 6 guys there? Mm-hmm. How many of those teams made the playoffs?
4.
4 out of the 6?
Yeah.
All right.
The other 2 didn't have a quarterback.
Okay.
The Falcons and the
Colts.
Colts.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, son of a Wisconsin Bucky Badger.
There you go. Rounding out the top
I
10.
went right
Kyrie,
over them.
what
You're
you
right.
did.
I went Jaguars, Titans, Texans, Steelers, Browns. All right. All right. Yep. Waterboy's right. That is why Anthony stopped doing the Gridiron podcast. And I turned
Is
into.
that what the podcast was? You guys just.
Yeah, we just named players.
We just named players.
on random teams.
That
Yep.
is so. It's like a national pastime. You
Mac
just
was
sit
also
down and
Mac
just
was
name
also
players.
justified in saying that our football knowledge is absolutely fringe, absolutely mid.
Yeah.
All right, we've got what we learn and 3 stars of the day next. I want to win ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you are in the market for new windows, then you need to reach out to Window Nation because they are offering 60% off of all window styles, and you will pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. According to the industry experts, the National Emergency Assistant Directors Association, heating costs are going up this winter up to 23%. And if you're tired of the heat in the morning or hearing the heat pump all night, well, then you need to get new windows from Window Nation. All you need to do to get a free, no-obligation quote is reach out to them at 866-90Nation or online at windownation.com. They can install that window in 1 day or less. Window Nation windows come with a lifetime warranty. All they do is windows. They are experts. Last year alone, they installed over 200,000 windows, 96% of those requiring no follow-up service. They are an A-plus, better business rating. And if you need new windows, like I said, you can get 60% off of all styles. That includes double hung, bays, picture windows, and everything. And you pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years. Just reach out to them today at 866-90Nation or go online at windownation.com.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerry Davis, Andrew March, Anthony Stalter. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or on the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Podcast, as always, gentlemen, is brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. All right. What did we learn today? March, would you like to kick us off here?
Yeah, I learned I need to listen very closely.
Okay. Yep.
What'd you miss?
Well, I missed everything that you were just talking about in terms of these running backs. You said that this particular guy that we were looking for was not a playoff team. And what did I do? I just continued to roll out playoff teams. So I need to listen more.
Joe Mixon.
Marion.
Bucky Irving.
Najee Harris. All those guys played.
James Cook.
I didn't listen.
Yeah. I learned that Lars Nootbaar is the glue. He's the one.
Yeah.
He is the answer to all of our problems for this Cardinals team. He just got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's what the stats say.
Very true.
StatCast, beware. If he's healthy, these are going to be eye-popping numbers. I mean, some of the greats in baseball on that list, Anthony.
No doubt.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I learned that our one and only Kerry Davis would have given up everything about his Super Bowl run, the memories, the great times, the parade, everything to be MVP, to be regular season MVP.
Anthony, I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
There's a contract that comes with winning. You sign a new one, you get paid a little bit more.
Yeah.
You sign autographs, you do that years to come.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more longevity in being an NFL MVP. Just saying.
Gotcha.
HOF MVP. HOF MVP.
Here or fast laned?
Would you rather be here or would you rather be fast laned.
Right.
That's what your answer.
Yeah, HOF.
Oh,
Waterboy also points out something, too, that I learned. Now, he says, I learned Anthony's career is over in all caps. No.
It's not what I said.
What I learned was I'm nearing kind of the cutoff point.
You
That's what Kerry
are
said.
coming close.
Yeah.
You're 42?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're approaching that number, buddy.
43 in March.
So young.
Yeah, oh yeah. I got plenty
In
of time.
life, yeah. In football. It's going to be tough.
Vinny Testaverde played into his 40s. Tom Brady played into his 40s.
That's why I said it's not quite over.
Sure.
Because there are some kickers that played well into their 40s.
Absolutely.
You know?
You might find yourself on an NFL team, Anthony.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Your wait might be over.
Thank you, Marsh. Yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
All right, 3 stars of the day. Our third star goes out to blast rate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Lars Nootbaar's favorite stat.
Yeah, blast rate.
He may not know it.
I bet you I'd be using that in my next contract negotiation. Look at these numbers.
Look at these blast rates, you fast lane
idiots.
Not blast, but boom. Goes to dynamite is our second star of the day.
Gotta love it.
And speaking of stars, the first star of the day goes out to all of those St. Louis Stars.
Yeah, absolutely.
All 800 of them.
697. Yep. All right, hey, don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday. You pick out the topics for us here in the Fast Lane. Looking forward to that. So we'll be ready for tomorrow. For Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Kerry Davis, and Anthony Stalter. See you.